Something's wrong, I feel it circling like vultures around my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wrecking, you know it's wrong. I was deaf to the ringing bells, wanting me to break, deafened by the sirens' soothing lies. I can't leave, I am in too deep, been sinking for a while, prisoner to the same thing I despise, devoted to a fake. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along, a siren serenade. You're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory.
Minor things for work finished.
Welcome all! We are live! Welcome back to the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. Of course, with the host, myself, the WandrinDutch, and my awesome panel here this evening, General C, Boxenberger, and Mick. Of course, before we get into anything to do with the show, we'll get through our intros first, and this is the point where I find out whether or not the audio is working for my panel. So, Mick, how are you doing today, sir? What have you been up to? And it's not. 2 minutes.
Is it me? It's not me, is it?
Nope. Okay, try again.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Max and Paddy, thank you very much. Like I was saying, not a lot really. Just waiting on the new season of Sea of Thieves. And just been back and played Call of the Sea on PC, just because it was one of those good adventure games that I enjoyed on Xbox, and I've got the PC version. So just jumped back into that, finished that off, and 1,000 pointed it. Just trying to kill some time, really, till tomorrow. So
Nice.
bring on the new season.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah. So is that all you've been playing recently, or?
Pretty much, yeah. To be honest, I'm at that point now where I'm ready for Jedi Survivor. I'm ready for Dead Island. I'm ready for Diablo beta. I'm ready for the full game. I'm ready for all these games now. And still got varying times to go. I know they're all quite close. We're getting there, but yeah, I find it hard to pick something up and enjoy it. So I'm just going back and just clearing up some achievements on some of the old games that I've got.
Awesome.
Just to pass the time.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Boxy, welcome, sir. How are you doing, and what you been up to?
Good evening. Good evening. What I've been up to a couple of things actually, man. I played the Resident Evil 4 beta
Nice.
demo. Quite liked it. I enjoyed it. They did a fantastic job, man. Nothing really to complain. Gameplay is solid. It looks good. Maybe the only thing is I expected a little bit more interaction with the environments. Everything looked kind of a little stiff. But other than that, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm in a similar boat like Mike. I don't know. My stance on backlogs. I don't believe in backlogs, so I kind of run out of games to play, man. It's hard for me to pick up a game
No
at the
such
moment.
thing,
I don't
Boxy.
know.
No such thing. There's so many games.
I don't. People always say that, but then really, what? The major games I want to play, I have played. I'm looking forward to so many new releases. Resident Evil 4 Jedi is coming. Diablo over the weekend. Cannot wait. Preloaded that. So what am I supposed to start now? I don't know. I tried Valheim this week on the Xbox. Yeah, not for me. I don't know. Game looks honestly like it comes from the 90s. I expected something else.
That's
Not
fair.
for me.
That's fair.
So what else did I do? I played, of course, a lot of Age. I went back to Age. Back in the Platinum rank. Told you that I dropped out after losing a couple of matches.
Yep. You had a bit of a rough spot.
I had a rough spot. And then Dutch, I don't know how to tell you this, but I played ranked online co-op matches.
Yeah.
Not with you, but with a colleague from work, and he actually also plays in the Platinum League. So we did that. Kicked some ass yesterday, man. We kicked some ass. That was fantastic. But other than that, yeah, man, after finishing Hogwarts and a couple of other games, I'm waiting for the next big thing, man. I'm waiting for the next big thing, and yeah. So the weekend is near. Diablo is gonna keep us busy then. Cannot wait.
Yep. Yep.
So, but now I'm looking forward to a good show tonight.
Definitely. And there's been quite a little bit of news and some new game announcements and some additions and things like that, and some delays, and there's plenty to talk about. So we'll get into it, all of it, of course, with having a week or so off. So, Jen, last but not least, how's yourself? What you been up to?
Yeah, not too bad. Busy. Life stuff. Redecorating. Moved my setup into this room. Got these in the background to get rid of yet. Still not fully set up to do much. I'm going to try and stream this weekend if I can get the rest of my stuff set up. When I have been gaming, it's just been Hunt Showdown. That's really been it for me. I finally hit 5-star MMR in Hunt Showdown. That's matchmaking rank. So I'm up there with the best of the best on Hunt Showdown. There are some MMR 6s, but eventually I'll get there. But there's very few people at MMR 6. They're people that like to camp a lot and hide in bushes.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there. Maybe I can cross that point, but I get bored of the camping. I can't play without that. Yeah, it's pretty much been me. Just trying to get sorted out in this new office space. This was basically a spare room, so just been chipping away at putting things in here and redecorating my bedroom, and then we're moving on to redecorating the living room. So it's pretty much busy here right now. When
The full house
when
redecoration.
when I'm not busy doing other things, I'm decorating. So yeah, very little time for gaming.
You'll get back to it. You can relax even more when everything's redecorated. And
Yeah. I aiming to stream again this weekend, at least one day of the weekend. It's been I think a couple of weeks since I've streamed, so getting there.
Awesome stuff. And chat, of course, let us know what you've been playing over this last week or so, and of course,
I forgot one game. I've been playing a lot.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know how I forgot that. Metroid Prime, the
Oh,
remaster
yes.
on the Switch.
Come on, tell us, how is it then?
It's absolutely fantastic, man. It's even better than I remembered. Honestly, so good. It's got to be one of the best looking games on the Switch, and it's running butter smooth at very, very locked 60. Really, they've done such a fantastic job. The textures are sharp. They changed a little bit the controls to make it more modern. Feels really good, and the game itself still has an incredible atmosphere. The level design is spot on. It deserves that a lot of people claim that's the best Metroid ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue about that because Super Metroid also nailed it at the time, but this is a fantastic one. Really, it is. And I think I'm a little bit more than halfway through now, and it's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one I'll hopefully pick up in the future. Again, there's no rush to buy them because they never change in price. So
That's true.
So yeah, I'll pick it up.
That's so true.
I'll pick it up in the future, but it's definitely one I want to add to the list because, of course, it is one of Nintendo's bigger exclusives, and hopefully this is an indication of how good the next Metroid can be. If this Metroid Prime, which is of course a remake / remaster, I know they call it a remaster, but it's more like a remake.
Honestly, it is. I don't know why they did it, because Nintendo usually sell you games where they have not done anything as the remaster for full price.
Yeah.
And this time they actually made a remake, call it a remaster, and sell it for $40.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I'm a little concerned. They must have been drunk or whatnot. But it's amazing. It's fantastic. Honestly.
Yeah, great. It's I'm looking forward to it. To be honest, for myself, I've been playing. I did play a little bit of Hot Wheels Unleashed, which is obviously on Gamepass, and it comes with like 400 DLCs. So that took a while to get them all downloaded. There was like 96 download files or something.
400 DLCs.
Oh, not quite that much. There was about 96 though, and that's no understatement. There was about 90 odd downloads. But yeah, it includes everything that comes out for Hot Wheels, so that's awesome. So if you want to check out Hot Wheels Unleashed, it comes with everything. So it's good fun. It's good fun, to be honest. I try and want to play that in co-op or versus or whatever. It's definitely going to be a fun racer to play with your friends. I've been playing a little bit of Forza Horizon, jumped in onto Forza Horizon Fridays with Dazarus, UK Dazarus, who's in chat tonight, and a few others.
Pineapple lover. I think he spent too much time with Hertog.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, man. I gotta tell you. He's Dazzy baby, he has a GIF up on his Twitch channel with me holding a pineapple pizza, and I want everyone to know that this was done against my will. I have nothing to do with this. I don't.
Oh dear me.
Daz, if you can send that to me, I'd like to add that to my Twitch chat too.
I'm gonna block you all.
Oh dear me. But yeah, that's so I've been playing that. Been playing a bit of Call of Duty with Pat. Of course, Pat is feeling a bit under the weather tonight, so he's not here. But played a little bit of Call of Duty with him the other day. I've also been playing Age, but I've been playing Age on console, Age 2, and been playing with my friend.
Nice.
Yeah, been playing through the
How
campaigns.
do you like it, man?
Been playing through the campaigns, so.
Which campaign? Because they have like, I don't know, 20 campaigns or so.
We finished the Saladin, and we're on to the Huns now, I think it is.
Sweet.
So we're halfway through the Huns, and of course, you know, as you know, the campaigns are like 4 hours long each time, so
Yeah.
they're not quick by any stretch. So yeah, we've been playing through them, which has been good fun. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. So far, but yeah, that's what I've been playing. Looking forward to some new games again, as you've mentioned. Looking forward to something else. I did go back and play a little bit more Hogwarts again on stream, and I'll be doing that again. Despite already having finished it, I just enjoy the game, so I'm enjoying doing a little bit of a slow burn on that one now, as opposed to just hammering it like I did the first time.
I still need to get back to that, but I've not got my Xbox set up, so I can't play it at the moment.
That's fair. That's fair. But yes, other than that, chat, I did see RSJ in the chat there. He said he's been playing COD and Hot Wheels Unleashed on Gamepass. Muppet's been playing Shadow Warrior 3 and Merging Blade. Actually, that's another game I have been playing and tried. Merging Blade's cool. If people liked Vampire Survivor, Merging Blade's kind of a different take, but very pixely. And again, it's about kind of upgrading your units, going and fighting automatically, hoping that you win, and then upgrading your units and so on and so forth, and going all the way through it. It's quite a cool little game to jump onto. Time burners, as you call them. If you want to just sit there and do something that passes the time for like 20 minutes or something, or 10 minutes, you could easily chuck on Merging Blade for a bit and then jump off. Shadow Warrior 3, I haven't played that yet, but I've heard good things about it, so that's awesome. That's awesome. Mr. Johnny Dark's been playing Warlong. Oh god, yes, don't get a start on that. Warlong, Returnal.
I wanted to play that last week.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep during the intro, not because of the game. I was just super tired and exhausted. And ever since, I was like sitting in front of my Xbox. Yeah, I should try it. But I'm just not in the mood for Souls-like.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. And to be fair, it's it's the parry system. Like I know they've patched it. I might go back to it soon. If they patch it to the point where the parry system works properly, then I'll go back to it. And that was my only frustration. I think the game in itself is fine if the parry works 100 times out of 100 times, but it works like half the time. So
I haven't touched that yet.
Yeah,
I have to be in a very particular mood to play a Souls-like game. I'm never really in those moods to play it, so
yeah,
I tend to stay away from them. I even stopped playing Demon Souls, and I was really enjoying that. Just kind of not feeling it.
Yeah,
and it's not to say that the game's bad. It's just
you've got to be in the right mood.
I'm very picky when it comes to like what gaming mood I'm in, and if I'm gonna play something, I'm gonna play something like I prefer it's more my pace, and that's usually Hunt Showdown. So that's the game I'm always going back to constantly.
Nice. He's also been playing Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. So he's went for full tilt on that one. And he's getting ready for the new Bayonetta Origins, which actually looks really cool. And that's what I'm interested in as well, actually. Looks really nice. Jacob Novik's been playing Modern Warfare 2. I think that's pretty much it. What else has people been playing? Is anybody else in the chat? No, I don't think so.
Tulu says they've been playing Tinykin.
Oh,
I approve of that.
Nice. Good
Great
shout.
game.
Yes.
Great game.
So
Absolutely
he's still trying to
loved it.
get good in Apex, but also started Tinykin. Yeah, I've heard good things about it from yourself, Jen, actually. So, and I do have it downloaded. I just haven't put it on yet. It's one of them games where I've took a recommendation and just not played it yet. But I will get to it definitely.
I think someone's waiting to be let in.
Oh, Shom, bloody hell!
Hello.
Hello, Shom.
Hello, hello.
How's it going? What you been up to?
Not bad, not bad. Working mainly, to be honest with you. But just my shift pattern's a bit awful.
Yeah.
Like a lot of lates and whatnot. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a while. I don't have any setup at all. I've literally got a pair of headphones plugged into my laptop.
Better than nothing. Don't you worry.
It is better than nothing.
Good to see you there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
been a
good
while.
to be here.
Been a while. What you've been
So
playing
what about-
anyway? You've been hammering the PlayStation, so I know you've been playing a load of games.
I wouldn't say hammering's probably a little bit.
I just get a lot of notifications saying Shomblon's
Yeah.
online. Shom.
You've not been online for like 3 or 4 months, I think.
Oh, well, on PlayStation, yeah. I think last thing
Yeah,
I
he's
played was
just
Spider-Man.
hiding.
He's just hiding. What have I been
It's
playing?
because he
Playing-
doesn't have a PS5 yet. That's
I thought he did. I
No,
thought you had a PS5.
no, PS,
No.
I thought
PS4
you got
Pro.
one, sold one, but then got another one.
it's because he's not listening to me. He's not listening to me. So and now it's his fault that he has to pay more money. I told you,
Sorry, Dad.
buying a console day one is the cheapest you can get a console ever.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad.
Right, we've done the math before, man.
But yeah, what
It is
you've
a
been playing,
Sony
Shom,
one because
anyway?
it goes up. I've been a little bit addicted to Blood Hunt. If anyone's played that.
No, I don't think I have yet.
It's Masquerade.
Yes.
Is that a battle royale?
Yeah. It's dead simple. I'm getting to a point where I've probably getting a bit bored of it now because there is only one map. The community's not that big, so you're probably coming up against quite a lot of bots. So there's, even though I think the most I got was 22 kills in a game. Bearing in mind there's only probably about 45 people or players. Half of them, if not most of them, were bots that game. And it's good. They've got an annoying habit of when you get down to like the last 5, one at a time, they just run into the dead zone and die. So you're like, oh, great, brilliant. So it's an automatic win, which is nice. But when you do actually come up against human players, you normally get destroyed a bit because you're a little bit rusty because the bots are not exactly the hardest things to kill. But I think it's this is something that needs to come to Xbox because the community needs a boost, and it is a fun little game. It is a fun game. It's never going to be a Fortnite, never going to be an Apex, anything like that. But it has its own, for me, has its own little niche. I find it quite fun. What else have I been playing? Returnal. Returnal's a lot of fun. It's hard. It took me ages to get out of the first biome.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it's not. It's one of those things because it's like it's not unfair. It's every time I died, especially against the boss, it was my mistake. It wasn't something cheap. It was me cocking up, basically. So Returnal, yeah, that's quite fun. I've been trying to get into God of War. At the moment, I just don't know if my head's in the right place for God of War. Well, Ragnarok. I played to the point where, without spoilers, where you kid something and you beat him and he transforms back.
Yes. Okay.
That's about as far as I've got, and I've just
That's not too far in, to be honest. That's not too far in.
I'm not.
couple of
About
hours?
the first hour, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I keep turning it on, and I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for this. I
Yeah.
just can't get in the same with Last of Us 2. I'm trying to get into that, and I think it's just when you're just not in the mood for the type of game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit like that.
I go through big phases, Shom, of really wanting to just play single player games and just dive into something awesome like that. And only wanting to play games with my friends and co-op games and like daft online games and stuff. Like it's like one or the
doing
other.
Fall Guys or something. You play Fall Guys for a week with everybody, and it's just something. It's a bit of a palate cleanser, isn't it?
Yeah.
and it's nice to do, and I think that's what I've been doing with my PlayStation in general. Is there's not anything at the moment that's grabbed me on the Xbox. It's like every time I load it up, I ended up playing the same games. Even though I've got Gamepass and I've just got a load of stuff, and I'm just not in the mood for stuff. So you end up falling back into playing like the same 2 or 3 games. I got the PlayStation just to kind of. There are some games I want to play on there. But yeah, I've just been dipping in and out of various things. I've not got too far in anything really. Even in Hogwarts, I think I've done. I've got the third person in the paintings, the woman.
Right. Yeah.
I've just finished that, but I've been having fun with that. I've just been
taking your time.
Yeah, I collected all the little moon goblin things.
Yeah.
So I could unlock doors, basically.
Yeah, exactly. There was a benefit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was annoying getting. Oh, I can't go here because I've not got a lock. I've got, and then you're like, oh, yeah, I got a lock. Oh, it's a level 2. I don't have a level 2. So I spent like an hour or a bit just with a guide, getting all the things I need, and then doing that. But Hogwarts, I'm really enjoying it. It's just I'm doing kind of half-hour stints at it at a time.
Awesome.
I think that's because of my job as well, because I get home and I'm falling asleep on the bus kind of thing because I'm just knackered. It's like so.
It's what happens when we get old, Sean. It's what happens. Just
getting old, man.
We get all this the intention of sitting there and playing games, and then we sit on the settee and you go, nah.
Yeah. The amount of times is like you turn, whether it's your PlayStation or your Xbox on, and then you just stare at the dashboard for 5 minutes and going, "Nah, I'm just gonna watch Netflix." I think.
Yep. I've done that 3 times this week. I realised I've got the dashboard on for about half an hour and gone.
See, that's why we need new games, guys.
I wouldn't
that's
even
why we need new games
because I've got loads of new games that I could play potentially. It's the energy levels. It's just at the moment. Basically, at work at the moment, we're severely understaffed, and everybody's being not asked to, pretty much made to pick up the slack. So I'm doing jobs that really other people should be doing, and I'm still trying to do them while fitting my jobs in. So I've been just getting back, just being absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
It's like I'm falling asleep at 4:30 in the afternoon. Like the other day, I got back from work 4:30 in the afternoon, and I slept for an hour and a half as soon as I came in.
Yep.
I could barely keep. When you're so tired, bending down and picking something up is an effort. It was like, and it's not just me. My supervisor was the same thing. We were both going, "What is wrong with us today?" And she was like, "I don't even want to sit down because I know I won't get back up again."
Yeah.
So it's just what I've just like the life has been busy for me since last year. I don't know if anybody knows. Basically, I went missing because I moved back from Scotland back to Manchester. I got a divorce. It was completely amicable. It was just our lives were going in different ways, and I'm just trying to not pick myself up, but I'm trying to figure out
get yourself settled back in as a Mancunian again.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't plan on being here that long, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm just trying to get not back on my feet, but yeah, pick myself up, decide what I'm going to do, and then I've had it. But that's why I've been AWOL for quite a while.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Where I'm staying at the moment, I'm staying at a mate's house, and I just don't have room for my camera, and I don't even have room for the desk in the room I'm in. So that's me. Anyway, enough about me. Let's get on with the topics.
Let's indeed. Of course, we've got a few more in chat as well, seeing what they've been playing, and let's have a quick catch up. See what I can find here. So we spoke about what Holmesy's been playing Wo Long as well, and randomly started playing Red Dead Redemption 2 online with the crew on Monday. See, I've not played Red Dead Redemption online, but to be honest, I still would want to try it because I've never played it online before. So I think Jen might be the one to do that with if I do.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. Look, I haven't really played much of it because most people I did play with didn't really stick with it for long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be up for jumping on that, reinstalling it.
Definitely, definitely. Jasper's been playing some PUBG lately. I haven't played that for ages. I think it's probably at least a year, maybe more, since I
6-year
played
anniversary
PUBG.
coming up now, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, I like it from time to time, but God, I'm rusty when I try to play that game. I'm so rusty.
That's my excuse every time I play that game.
Every time. And Blind Giant 808, he's been jumping in there and he's been playing some Sons of the Forest on PC, which is an awesome game. Creepy, very creepy. And of course, I think it's one of those kind of still in development, progressively gets better as time goes on kind of games. Early access, I think.
Survival horror like game.
Yeah.
Looks really interesting. It's something I want to pick up as soon as I can and try out.
Yeah,
But
definitely. It's co-op as well.
typically, early access games tend to put me off because
I've seen some funny
you
clips of
play
that
it-
game, mind. Like the AI that walks around with you is just so dozy. Like, you ask him to chop down
like,
wood and he
build a
starts
tower and
chopping
he ends
down
up
your
chopping
tower.
it down.
Yeah. You're like, thank you.
It looks
Yep,
funny.
That's exactly what I wanted.
I've seen like people shooting at the cannibals and then like them limping away or trying to get away. It's just a lot of funny stuff in that game.
Yeah, it does look fun. Does look good fun. He's also been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake and Destiny 2. So really good shouts there. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And again, evening to everybody. Before we get into the topics, however, I've got a little surprise I want to put on screen. So if everybody watching on YouTube, here's our date announcement trailer for Community Indie Showcase 2023.
Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break the keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Lies telling you, don't waste it on me.
So there it is, guys. The announcement for the Community Indie Showcase 2023, the first showcase of 2 this year, airing on the 23rd of April at 6 p.m. GMT. So there we go. There we go. We already have an awesome set of content creators announced for the first show and some special guests, some new trailers, some developers confirmed. Everything's coming along very swimmingly, of course, and work is underway now at creating this awesome showcase. Of course, one of our awesome panel members here is also taking part in the first show, Boxenberger. So it'll be awesome to have to have you on the show once more. And this is our 3rd annual showcase.
And I cannot wait to be on, man. It's absolutely amazing the amount of work you put in to put the shows together. I think people underestimate how much work that is. Like aligning 70 different developers, getting the trailers ready, editing everything together. It's amazing. It's really the best indie showcase out there. It was fantastic last year. I know that you have like even more planned for this year. You cannot reveal. It's amazing, man. And on behalf of the entire community, thank you for putting this together. It's fantastic, dude.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. And to be honest, it's great to see so many kind of getting behind it as well. And inbox and indie developers, like now it's a case of, because it's been going for 3 years, I think it gets easier every year. So because it's been going for 3 years, when you're speaking to indie developers constantly, and some of them have seen the show, and to be honest, even looking back at the chat from last year, there's a lot of indie developers stop into the chat and talk and get involved and just want to see what other indies are working on. So it's great to see them kind of coming in, and when you inbox them, they're just like, absolutely, what do you need? As opposed to like, yeah, we'll have to check. They're just like, no, well, what do you want? What do you need? How can we help? And that's a case again with one of the special guests for this year as well, who's also having an increased role. And he exactly the same. Yeah, absolutely. When does it air and what do you need? So yes, it's gonna be absolutely awesome. Can't wait for it. And again, can't wait to see the awesome pics of the content creators that are involved this on the first show. So kind of just to go over some of the content creators that are appearing on the first one. So we have, of course, Boxenberger, myself. We have Kia Sante and Everborn Saga. Everborn might also be showing a little bit of his game, who is currently in development. It's been in development a while. He's just got a brand new animator. He's pushing as far as he can, as quick as he can, to try and get a trailer ready for that. So fingers crossed.
That's
awesome. We will also have, of course, Pong Soul and I Steal Rain, among many others. And of course, Duncan from Complete Xbox, previously Gamers Watch, will also be returning to put together his own little slant in it like he did last year.
His bit last year was hilarious.
It was.
It had me in stitches. I had to go back and watch it multiple times. He's so funny, Duncan.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Boomstick XL, of course, will be on the first show as well, alongside other special guests, which I cannot name yet because, of course, I want to keep it a surprise for the big day. But definitely going to be worth tuning into, and work is underway now. So yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. It's been good to start working on it again. But yes, let's get into today's show. There's been a lot of news since we've had this little bit of a break. First and foremost, of course, we did eventually get the release date of Starfield. Ooh. Boxy's accidentally backed out, I think. We'll bring him back.
He's gone to play Age.
Yeah, he's trying to get his Diablo working. That's what he's doing.
There he is. Wrong button.
I accidentally refreshed the browser. Damn it.
Oh, dear me.
We've all done that at least once in our time being on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so Starfield eventually got its release date announcement for September 6th, 2023, with a showcase announced, a developer direct showcase announced for the June 11th, which is a Sunday, which follows directly after the Xbox game showcase, or the E3 showcase, as it were, on June 11th. So there's a bit of a mixed kind of news for that one. Of course, very glad to know that it is obviously, we have a date. We know when it's coming. We know it's not as soon as we'd like it, but it's a definitive date now. That's a date, no doubt, that internally both Xbox and Bethesda are happy with. as opposed to just Bethesda. So yeah, it's mixed news, but to get our thoughts on it first and foremost, I would say on my part, I think some of the gameplay that they showed in there looked very very promising. It certainly looked like it was definitely polished when they were doing the testing sections, and it certainly looks very pretty from some of the normal, should we say, CGI or in-engine clips that they were showing of certain parts of the game as well. But more time is only ever a good thing when it comes to delays, in my opinion. Of course, we have to call out Xbox on certain aspects, and we will do that. But in terms of actual game delays, 100 times out of 100, a game delay is always a good thing if it means the game is going to come out in its best possible version. But to get our thoughts on this, first and foremost, I'm going to go to Shom because, of course, it's been a while since we've had you on the show, and I want to get you involved straight away. What's your thoughts on the Starfield semi-delay, should we say, and of course what we know about it?
Yeah, I'm on mute. Let's call a spade, it's a delay. Although they never really had a set date. If you say these are the games coming in the next 12 months, then it's a delay because it's missed that 12 months. They planned on having it within that period of time. Am I bothered by it? Not at all. I've not seen the updated trailer yet because I don't know whether I want to watch it. I don't know whether I want to just go in blind. From the impressions that I've got from other people that have said it looks amazing, then I'll take that. But for my eyes, I'd rather just go in blind rather than seeing what they've put out. I mean, I was pretty impressed with the first one, that they showed. So if it's better than that, then bonus. But I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. My backlog is atrocious as it is.
Don't say backlog around Boxenberger.
Okay, it's a taboo.
What I understood is, man, I have a huge list of games I pretend I want to play, but really don't.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I understood.
Shall we use the phrase games to be played or yet to be played? Is that an acceptable term?
Yes. Yeah.
Games yet to be played.
Games you have the option
I'll accept
of playing,
it.
possibly.
Okay. Having said that, I know I probably won't even scratch any of them come. Is it September 6th?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days before my birthday, so we're good. But again, it's just social media when it comes to quote unquote controversy. It's like, what do you want? Do you want them to bring it out in less than optimal? I mean, it's a Bethesda game, so it's probably going to be less than optimal, but I'm glad it didn't come out last year, because if Halo is anything to go by, it needed a lot of work, or it needed more work, and I'm hoping the delay has been a performance mode. That's what they've kind of focused on, because they said for a while it's pretty much ready to go, haven't they? And they're just polishing. So I'm hoping it was just polishing and trying to get in that performance mode, because I will be disappointed. It won't stop me playing it, but I will be disappointed with 30 frames, should that be the case. But you know what social media is like. Anything Xbox does is blown massively out of proportion.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And I mean, look at last year. Sony's first party games were all delayed from 2021. And I get Sony has a bit more leeway because they do constantly bring out games, and they're normally of decent quality. So I get that they are able to have an off time, but you can't say, well, it's really concerning because a game is delayed when you've had 3 that Sony did. And if you look at the games that Sony brought out, was it God of War, Horizon, and GT? They're all pretty decent games from it. I mean, GT probably came up under the most scrutiny. But I think that was more the microtransactions, the actual gameplay,
Yeah.
more the quite predatory from what I can remember. So they've only benefited. I'm not going to bring out whatever thingy's quote from Nintendo about delayed games. Everybody's heard that to death. But as long as it's not got any game-breaking bugs, I don't mind Bethesda bugs in general. Some of them be quite funny, but if you get an issue like I think it was Fallout 4 that had a game-breaking bug, it kind of corrupted the save. If I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any of that. They've delayed it pretty much a year-ish because it was November last year it was supposed to come out and then it was delayed.
November 11th, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 11/11/21, wasn't it? So it's almost a year. I don't want to have walking into a door and my game shut down and then my load doesn't load up anymore and I need to start again. I'd be a bit peeved if that happened, especially with the extra time.
Yeah.
So I think a delay is a good thing. I find I can't really think of a game that has come out that's been delayed and you're like, oh right, okay. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I don't subscribe to, and I've seen a lot of Xbox people as well as I think Gaz from Game On Daily. I love Gaz, but I think he's wrong saying that Xbox lied, because the only way you can actually say Xbox has lied is if during E3 last year they said this is coming and they purposely knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
There was a small print in that 12-month thing anyway.
Yeah, but come on, are we really using that as an excuse?
Yeah. Well, I'm
You've got to
Yeah, I
expect
think
that a game can be delayed when they put a small print like that. It's obvious.
But I think I kind of agree with Sean though. I think seeing lie is a bit far fetched. I don't think it's a lie because of course you can't guarantee it's gonna hit.
You can say they've let the fans down because they've built up this anticipation and they've not delivered, which they seem to be very, very good at. But to say that they've lied is it's a purposeful thing to lie.
Yeah.
You're saying we've got these 15 games when they really know only 8 of them are gonna hit. That's a lie because there's a pre-thing. Whereas I'm guessing they've gone to Bethesda and gone, is this going to be ready? And they've gone, yeah, no problem. And then they've said it, and then something's happened. They've gone, oh, actually, Phil, we probably could do with a little bit of extra time.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the business. You don't know what's going to happen, but Microsoft ballsed up by setting that expectation. They seem, like I said, they seem to be very good at setting expectation, but not really delivering.
Yeah.
So unless they stealth drop a game, which that seems to work for them.
I think that's one thing me and Boxy mentioned last week as well, is it's these self-imposed issues. They put their own timescale on it, and it was so that it's their own fault for putting that timescale on it.
No one asked them to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like you don't need to worry about Sony shooting them because they're going to shoot themselves in the foot anyway. So
Exactly.
What's the point? Yeah. But I kind of guess why they did it, because they were getting so much flack of what have you got coming, what's your roadmaps, what's this. So they've gone, well, I know, let's do something so people know that these are what's coming. It's all coming to Game Pass. So get your Game Pass subscriptions in. Make sure you've signed up for the year. And even the first 6 months, you're like, where are the games?
Yeah,
you told me in the next year.
Yeah, the thing is, Champ, they had to do something.
Yeah.
They had to market somehow the brand, and they had 18 months of nothing. Almost 18 months of nothing.
Yeah.
And how do you market that? The only thing you can do is promise people stuff.
They've gone through the wait till next E3 a few too many times. To
Yeah.
be fair.
Yeah.
You're right. They were stuck in a corner. They had to promise something, but they also didn't really deliver on their promise. So it's like, I would have said these are all the games coming between now and the end of 2022 or 2023.
Yeah. That would have been the better way of doing it. And I've said that before, especially when you're at that point. Instead of saying within the next 12 months, just say by the end of 23, all of these games will have released. That gives them more than enough leg room.
I mean, there's some things that there's absolutely no way they could have foreseen or predicted, with like Stalker 2 and everything going on in Ukraine. There's no way you could even account for that. I've seen people use them as a little bit of a thingy. look at this, they haven't been provided. And it's just like, the guys were in a war zone for a bit. I think they're in Cyprus now, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
But they've gone through, I mean, even this week, isn't it? Have they not been hacked and
Yeah.
somebody's threatened to release everything, and they've lost people from their dev team that stayed to fight the war and ultimately ended up losing their lives.
Yeah.
So that dev studio have been through hell and back. If they don't produce and they don't have it out this year, I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take all
Their
the time
lives
to
are more
do-
important than a bloody video
Exactly.
game.
them and their families, they've managed to get out, but you don't know if their cousins, uncles, brothers, sisters, parents, they don't know. You don't know if they're still in Ukraine or not. So if it's ready today, but they just want a bit of time to whatever, or if they're kind of going, no, we're going to push it to 24, then I don't care. That studio's one of the few studios that can do and release whenever they like, in my very, very humble opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Boxy, what's your thoughts on this? The Starfield release date. We were both wrong.
talked
I
about
kind of
this.
said June, July. You were hoping
Yeah.
March, April.
No
Yeah,
one's a
let's be
mark.
real. That's the main issue. Everyone is has their guesses wrong, and
Yeah.
that's why people are mad.
I mean, I did call it.
Yeah.
I said this would be probably going to be pushed to September, November time.
So, yeah. See, the thing is nothing about the date. The date is great. Actually, I think the grade is fantastic. The first half of this year is filled with big AAA releases anyway. I know some have already flinched, like Justice League, but I'm not even sure if another game is already announced for September. So it's great, man. I won't be home when it comes out now. I just checked. We're still in Italy on family vacation. But we arrived the day after. We come home the day after, and that's what I mean. It's perfect. Yeah, only summer vacations over.
Power of the cloud, baby.
Yeah, yeah, not on a gaming site in Italy. Dude.
You can at least try and design your character.
Not gonna happen. Yeah, I could design the character. That is true. That is true. This is at least 4 hours saved or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
However, so the date is really not the problem. The problem is this whole 12-month thing. And I said after the show last year, and you can go back and watch it, I did not like it at all, for multiple reasons. The first is it puts artificial pressure on the developers. The developers have now we need to deliver. Unnecessary. No one asked them to do that. The second thing is, who did they try to distract with that? People still realize that they have nothing to release.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this, okay, great, hey, great push. We don't care that you do not have any first-party games coming. So, and then I've said this also. The problem with the 12 months thing is we didn't have like exciting 12 months ahead. We already knew that the exciting games will probably come out in the last 3-4 months of that 12-month window. We already knew that the first 8 months are not exciting. So we got one little surprise now with Hi-Fi Rush.
Yes.
But at the time, we did not know about Hi-Fi Rush. So we had to assume, okay, we get 8 months of nothing, and then we get the exciting games. And now let's be real. Which are the games people are excited for? That's Redfall, Starfield, and Forza. And 2 out of these 3 are now moved out of this 12-month window in total. So from the games that Xbox promised us from their first-party studios,
only one.
2 out of 3 are not coming. Because let's be real here. Let's be real. Minecraft Legends is not the game that our community, the core gamer community, is looking forward to. And it's also not ARA History and Untold, which is an Xbox publishing studio. Yeah. So the games that people were excited for are Starfield, like, yes, that's what we want. Big AAA blockbuster game. That's what we want. We want a Redfall, yeah, like this awesome AAA experience. And we want like this new Forza after 6 years of waiting with a brand new engine. We want that. We do not want a Minecraft Legends. We just don't. So 2 out of the 3 games that people were excited for are now moved out of the 12-month window. So when Guess says Xbox Lite, I know people have an issue with that phrasing, and I'm not really sure what do we call it? What would we call it? They intentionally try to market their brand with something that they are not able to deliver now. We all knew one game will move out, and people were okay with people are okay with Forza moving out, but not having Starfield and getting Redfall at the very tail end of the 12 months now. Is that how Xbox do their messaging and marketing? So yeah, that's where I do also have an issue with.
Yeah.
So because whatever they will show, people will not believe them anymore.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And it was and again, it was so unnecessary. It was no one asked them to do that. And now we're here. Xbox hasn't released a game in Halo came out, I want to say end of November it was, right?
Yeah.
21. We had Hi-Fi Rush, yes, as the surprise game, but from the games scheduled and announced, and we haven't had a game in a very long time, and we have to wait on until it's up to 18 months without any major AAA releases. So yeah, are people mad? Of course, and rightfully so. It is the worst Xbox generation in terms of first-party releases so far. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. You just have to count how many games have they been able to release in the first 2.5 years. They've never had that poor of a performance ever in any other console generation. And of course, people do have an issue, and rightfully so with that. Yes, Xbox promises a lot, and the future, in theory, looks good. But since they have always overpromised and underdelivered, it's time to change that. And I want to quote here Mav, because he said that. It's time that Xbox underpromises and overdelivers, and they have to do that for like 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
Even one good year will not save their reputation at this point. It just won't.
Yeah.
They have for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing they have consistently done is disappoint.
Yeah.
Their fan. Yeah, that's the harsh reality. And I know I'm being very judgmental here with Xbox, but as a fan of the brand, I just do not feel that they deliver on their promises. They haven't delivered on having the most powerful console. They haven't delivered on having consistent releases of first-party games. They have not delivered on a lot of things. Yeah, and as much as I like the ecosystem and the value that Gamepass offers, and their the way how they actually talk to the community and things like that, I just don't like what that they have not found a way after all these years, 22 years of the brand, or 23 years almost, yeah. We have Xbox now, and they have not found a way to do better. And I don't want to hear the excuses anymore and the promises to we hear you, we will do better. I want them to consistently release games just like Nintendo and Sony do. And yeah, people also talked a lot about people also talked a lot about what's the second half now gonna look like? Because we all thought, okay, if they have Redfall, Forza, Starfield in the first half of this of this year,
Yeah.
we will get something cool in the second half. But having Starfield as the main game in the second half, do they need another one? Yes, I would hope so. I would still hope that we get Hellblade
I
2.
think, yeah, I was going to say, I think there's one more to add to the end of this year.
Yes.
I
But
don't
it's
think-
also very likely that we just don't get
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, the likelihood is we'll get
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I
we
feel Hellblade is early next year.
I think
Yeah.
so too. And I think
Could be, could
Around
be.
March.
And people were talking.
hopefully this year.
Yeah. Then they were talking about about what could that be? We also have to consider they still have to bring out Forza. Yeah. So
Avowed is probably end of next year, in my opinion.
there you go. So what do they have from, in addition to the already promised games that should have been actually released last year? Yeah. What else do they have outside of
Ghostwire
Starfield and
Tokyo is
Forza?
coming.
Yeah. April 12th.
Yeah.
That's not a new game.
Yeah, man,
though.
but it's
Yeah.
it's like
joking.
the same thing with
just being an
Deathloop.
idiot.
You can already play that on PC. You can play it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It won't have the hype that they need.
Coming to
That they
PS
need.
Plus in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah, both in April. I think they're both going in the same time. So both in April,
Yeah.
on April 12th, it's going into PS Plus collection and on Game Pass. So both
Yes.
No,
everyone's
it's going
getting
to
it.
PS Plus section on the 21st, so next week, I think.
Is it? So it's going to, yeah. To be honest, the game's already on the console, so it's much quicker.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's April 12th for all.
Oh, it is for both.
Yeah.
For both.
All right.
April
Whatever
12th.
I was reading was wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, and now people had that in their mind as well, rightfully so. Hey, we might get a Hellblade, and if not Hellblade, we might get an Avowed, or I don't know, the new Compulsion game or something. Yeah, something else. But now with Starfield and Forza in the second half, are they really gonna do it? Are they over delivering and under promising? It's kind of hard to believe. It's kind of hard to believe. So, yeah, at the end, they stretch out their roadmap for far too long, and people are rightfully mad. On the other hand, we also have to say, as soon as Starfield comes out, I feel like a lot of this is gonna be forgotten.
As long as it's good.
Yeah.
As long as it's good. Oh, and that is also something. Who said that? It's not from me, but it's a fantastic point. And I listen to too many podcasts, so I don't want to misquote someone. So someone on a podcast recently said, all these delays of Starfield also put a lot of pressure on the game.
Yeah.
Because the more you delay it, the more people expect. And if it's not polished as fuck,
Yeah.
it will be torn apart after all these delays. So this is it's also something that we have to consider. So yeah, at the end, I'm always happy when a game gets time needed. But it comes down to this old question of how good is Microsoft in managing their studios and IPs?
Yeah.
This is again the question.
It's a good point in chat as well, actually, Boxy. I think at this point now, because of all the delays, everyone expects that 60 frames mode.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would be surprised if they don't have it. Honestly.
I mean, the good thing is, and on the back end of this, is all the footage shown recently, including the newest trailer, which included gameplay, was 60 frames.
But it was all running on PC.
Yeah.
The guy literally sat on the couch with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
You would have
be
to hope-
careful with
Who sits on a couch with a mouse and keyboard? That's a bit. That's
I
a red
don't know.
flag.
Mix like me.
He's
got the Razer
that can't be
turret.
comfy though.
He's got the Razer turret.
They can't be comfy.
It's really not comfy. I'm on a recliner. It's lie back.
Yeah, but how can you have?
Rub it out. Hang on there, Bosh.
No, they don't seem right in my mind.
Oh dear me. But
So yeah, you see, I have a lot of mixed feelings.
yes.
And I just feel, as much as I criticize Xbox for it, we also have to sometimes put things into perspective. They all kind of lie to us at this point. Look at what Sony has done at the beginning of this generation, or in the first 2 years of the generation, with also straight out lies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo. They don't even have a messaging to their fans other than buy our games for the 1200th time at full price. So. And we look at a lot of the third-party developers, what they have done over the years. So it's not like Xbox is in the minority here in putting out like fake advertisements. It just tells us, stay on your toes, never trust any of these companies and what they say. They all just want to sell their stuff at the end. That's their business, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, if Xbox all promises again to get your most powerful console and get your steady stream of first-party content in Game Pass, just be aware, it's probably not gonna happen. Yeah.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. Mick, what's your thoughts on this Starfield? I know it's your most anticipated game this year. You've been churning for this game for quite a while. You've been playing Skyrim in anticipation for its imminent release, and now you've got to wait a few extra months. What's your thoughts?
Well, just to touch on the Skyrim thing, I got it fixed. Those of you that saw my tweet about it not working, I had to reset my PC the other day. Everything went wrong.
Yeah.
Still recovering from that. But for some reason, it's lost my cloud saves for Skyrim. So all my progress has gone. So I have to start again.
Nice.
So
as if you see that as a bad thing.
Well, it is when you've got sort of a decent chunk into the story, and it's like, oh, I wasn't ready to start again, not yet, So that's a bit of a downer. But on the whole Starfield thing, I won't lie, I was not upset, but disappointed it wasn't coming out in the 12 months. But deep down, we all knew. Probably wasn't.
That's a real parent thing to say that. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. Well practiced at this. You've got 4 kids. It comes with practice, that line. But yeah, no. I think we all knew it was probably coming, and we also. I mean, let's face it. September's a good time, especially early September. It's a good time for that game to come out, because it's going to be. There's not a lot of stuff out at that time. Typically, it's usually the end of September when it starts kicking off.
Yep.
So there's going to be hopefully not much else going on. It's going to get plenty of time to shine.
It's going to get 2 marketing windows as well, actually, because it's going to get the developer direct, and then it's going to get Gamescom.
Yeah, and also you're going to get the Black Friday as well.
Yeah.
Around that period where it's going to be on the sales as well, because it'll have been out for a little bit as well. So
it will still be relevant enough. That's a great point. Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot of press for the end of the year for that game. It's going to be it's going to sell gangbusters.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's going to be fresh on the minds of people at the Game Awards.
And that was another thing I was going to say. Game Awards are obviously it's well and truly in the window for that. So assuming, like Shom said before, they said they were polishing it. They said they were polishing it over a year ago.
It's a lot of polish.
They were in polishing stages like a year ago.
Yeah.
So, come on, this game is. You'd like to think this game.
I've got a bit of a theory on that.
Excuse me. You'd like to think that this game is going to I still don't think we're going to get. I still don't think it's going to be flawless. What game ever is?
What open world
Maybe
game is?
Hogwarts. Hogwarts.
No,
is that
Hogwarts
good?
has, Hogwarts has it. The guy that I work with, he's got it on the PS5, and his game is glitched out that he's opened
Really?
the chest, but it hasn't logged it as being opened. So he's pretty much got all the trophies apart from open all these chests, and he's like, "It's open." The game recognizes it's been open, but it's not been accredited to me.
I had that.
There's a
problem
similar
with,
thing where you open
Jedi.
a
I had that with Jedi Fallen Order. I had to wait 4 months for an update to fix it.
yeah, there's a similar thing with one of the creature pens that you open in Hogwarts. If you open it early in the game, you pretty much bug yourself. So yeah, I did that. So I've sort of got to wait for that patch because I'm not going to be able to 100% it now because of that.
No, the
Yeah,
patch. They've
so-
already patched that that one mission. The patch that the other week.
Have they?
Yeah,
That's good then.
yeah, the patch because that was the
Well, I
main
finally
one.
get
Like
my
you open the
Xbox set
pen.
up.
If you open the pen before you do the quest, it doesn't recognize that the creature's in the pen anymore, so you can't deliver the creature back to the person. But of course, he's already been
But why,
saved.
why let me open the pen? Come on. Why let me open the pen at that point?
But yeah, no, I think it's definitely going to do very well. I think it's a good window to put it out, but it doesn't make me not wish I was playing it right now. I am so ready to play it. But like you said before, any delay or any sort of genuine delay is a good delay. Really, it's only going to help. I do think this game, as I was going to say a minute ago, I think it's probably going to be the best polished, day one release of a Bethesda game they're probably ever going to have. But I still don't think. I mean, let's face it. You know that somebody's going to find something,
Yeah.
and they're going to make a big thing.
I mean, to be honest, on one side, I was going to say on one side we want a super polished Bethesda game. On another side, we
Yes.
also want some little Bethesda bugs that we can all laugh at.
If I don't get a moonwalking animal,
Yeah.
or a backwards flying bird, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
There will be a mod, you know.
We-
if it's
we
too
all
polished,
know.
they bring out the mods, the Bethesda mod or something, and then
If there isn't
Break
a giant
things intentionally.
talking tank engine,
Yes.
then I'm going to be annoyed. But,
We all know Todd Howard. Todd Howard likes to lie. Do you remember when they announced Fallout 76 and he said 16 times the detail?
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah.
He likes to lie. That game probably going to have some bugs.
What he meant with that was 16 times the detail of Morrowind.
Yeah.
If we got the Morrowind at the end.
Yeah.
That
Of
was
the original Oblivion. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be great. And
16 times the lies with Todd Howard.
No, he's not Peter Molyneux. Don't get them.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Peter Molyneux.
That's
and the
more
lies
like
Batman.
37 times the lies with Peter Molyneux.
The calculator didn't go up to that percentage. for him. But but yeah, no, at least I mean, God bless him. He did give us all those Fable games, but I don't miss him. I'm glad somebody else is in charge.
We all
this
remember
time.
Milo.
Isn't he doing
Rest
some
in
like
peace,
NFT
Milo.
crap now?
Oh, I don't know. Leave him to it. Let him have his fun. But yeah, the whole plant an acorn and a tree grows anywhere in the game thing, and all
I
sorts of
just
stuff
think
that
I
came up
think
with.
he was a little bit ahead of his time
It-
though. I think his ideas the technology wasn't there
Yes.
for his ideas, but again, much like Microsoft, keep your mouth shut if you can't do it.
Yes, yeah.
Put up or shut up.
Sorry to go on a tangent there with Peter Molyneux.
No,
but
it's
yeah,
all right.
but yeah, I can't wait for this game. I'm a little disappointed. I've got to wait longer, but I know deep down it's going to be for the best.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be disappointed with the game full stop because I know I'm not going to be able to make Red Dwarf. Or
You
You've just disappointed Mick saying that now.
No, me and Sham have already had this, I think, on Twitter.
Why? Why can't you make Red Dwarf?
Petitioning them. Yeah, petitioning the piece to saying if you don't make it, if I can't make
I want
Starbucks.
either
I'm gonna
Red.
be able-
Yeah, I want either that one or Starbug. Red Dwarf's the big ship, isn't it?
Yes.
The Starbug, or I want Serenity.
Serenity was the
From Firefly.
Why won't you
yes.
be able to? Is it what am I missing here? Why can't you do it?
I don't know. It's just
You
one of
might be
those
able
things.
to do it, but
You
it's
might be
whether
able to.
you can make the pieces look like it.
Yeah.
Starbug's
Although-
quite an interesting shape because it's quite it's
quite
lots of
round,
like
yeah.
round shapes, and it's not a kind of there
Having-
isn't many other ships in any sort of sci-fi that look like Starbug. It's designed to look like a bug.
Yeah, exactly.
literally.
Although having said
So-
that, it wouldn't surprise me because the mods, whether somebody just
Oh.
mods all these.
If we
types
get
You
of
just have to play it on
mods,
PC.
then I think we'll get it.
Yeah.
No, you should be able to get mods on the
On the console, yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Yeah,
you
are they,
can get
are they
mods on
coming day
console,
one though?
but there's different mods on PC that you can't get on console because it's
Oh, yeah.
directly through Bethesda. Like Nexus mods you can't get on
Mm.
through Bethesda.
I just
Fingers-
hope any kind of
fingers
aesthetic ones are ones that they don't lock. You know, with some of the mods, you can't get achievements if you've got mods activated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope there's just some
was-
aesthetic.
That was what the
aesthetic
Creator Club stuff was designed for, wasn't it? That was like
Yeah.
licensed, basically, fully checked and made sure there wasn't any exploits in them. So you can
Yeah.
have them on and still get the achievements. But
So hopefully,
the downside was you had to pay for them usually. So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind paying like 250, £3
Oh,
for
yeah.
a skin of a ship.
Don't
that I
lie
really
to me.
wanted.
Don't lie to me, Shom. You'd pay more than that if it was a Starbug.
Yeah, I've paid more than that on aircraft on Flight Sim. I played
16 times the money.
20 odd quid for the Spitfire, I think I paid.
That's what he was talking about.
I think I paid like
just
22, 23
works.
quid for the Spitfire on Flight Sim, and I think I've done that
Yeah,
a couple of
you
times.
will. Yep.
Well worth it.
But then again, we pump all these like V-Bucks into having being Moon Knight and Fortnite and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Ancient
like
coins on Sea of
Apex.
Thieves.
Apex is the egregious one. It's like what 15 odd quid for a skin.
Yeah.
No
I don't-
ideas. I ain't played Apex since it came out.
I've not played it in too long. It's so long. I don't even know what season they're in now. I
I
think there's
don't
like
think
4
how
more
many ancient
characters.
coins I've spent on Sea of Thieves.
He says while taking a very, very big gulp of his drink there.
Yeah. But last,
think
before we
about it.
move on from this topic anyway, Jen, what's your ultimate thoughts on this Starfield delay?
I'm disappointed. Not so much about the delay, more about the whole advertising of this. Yeah, there was a small print, and they can sort of get away with it with that by saying, "Yeah, but there was a small print," and blah 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 blah. You should have expected something like this to possibly happen. It's not very acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't think they can ever do something like last year's 12-month window like they did.
Yeah, because no one will believe it.
No one's going to believe that. People are going to hold them accountable for that with that wording. I definitely don't see them doing this. This is the 12-month thing that we're doing this year. Blah, blah, blah amount of games. And then you've got the small fine print that you read and it says that they basically can be delayed. People are going to expect it.
But like
They've sort
what
of
Boxy
soiled
was
that
saying,
12 months.
they were stuck in a corner, and I think that's why they did it. You know, if they're actually producing, and it looks like they've got a fair decent amount of games that should be coming out, that they won't have to do that. But yeah, I get your
One
point.
can hope.
They can't ever do that again, which is which is a shame because there might be a time where they might need to do it, and where we're like, yeah, right, okay.
I think that 12-month window thing they should do somewhere else. Not at E3. Maybe do a different event and say, this is what we plan to release in the next 12 months. And do something like that. But E3, they can't do that shit there again.
Maybe if they just
They'll
did
be-
it with like indie games.
Be held to
coming
pay.
Maybe if they just did it with indie games that were maybe coming to Game Pass, and then it wouldn't be
Yeah.
quite as big a deal then. You know.
Yeah, but then we've also got the developer directs, so maybe that's something that they're going to do, and they're going to get rid of that whole this is what's coming in the next 12 months thing. That's probably not going to be a thing anymore because we don't know when the next developer direct after the Starfield one is going to be. So that could be their next sort of thing rather than this is what's coming in the next 12 months. This is what's coming in the next 3 months or 2 months. Here's 2 or 3 games that are coming.
Oh. Are you there again?
What
You're back.
happened
You're back again.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the delay part of it. I'm hyped to play it regardless. I love Bethesda games. I love getting lost in their worlds. My theory on this is probably a little different from others. I know they've said that they were polishing this game when the delay came around, the first delay, official delay. I'm thinking here maybe this has something to do with downloadable content that comes out after the game. So they're trying to get caught up with that now because they've been polishing hard. And maybe they fell behind on the DLC part of the content that they were expecting to release 2-3 months down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. You never know. For me,
I think it was to do with the when everyone kicked off when he said that he liked 30 frames per second games.
yeah.
I genuinely don't think
Everyone was
I don't
like,
think there was gonna be a
"No."
performance. I don't think there was going to be a performance mode, and everyone was going, "Oh, there better be.
Yeah.
There better be one."
Yeah.
You know, and I think
Yeah,
that
I think that's
that will-
probably somewhat part of it as well. But I think maybe they're also focused on getting a little bit caught up with the downloadable content that comes after this game comes out, while they're still doing some polishing. And yes, it's Bethesda. I fully expect there to be, even after all these delays, a shit ton of bugs and a shit ton of issues, because we all know Bethesda like to make buggy games and not test it properly. And then the community has to go ahead and mod that crap into the game to fix it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I fully expect it to be a mess when it comes out. Not as bad as it probably would have been had it came out last year when it was supposed to come out on the 11th of November.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting bugs to be in there.
For me,
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm both looking forward to and relieved by the date, because up until that point there are a ton, and again, being a multi-platform gamer and thankfully not relying on first party, and of course we have to call it out, there are so many games coming out up until the end of June, like so many games.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to have the mindset to play them all. So I'm going to have to pick and choose very carefully which games I'm playing. And of course, we've got Redfall, and they seem super confident with theirs. They've already started their marketing. Redfall's already had influencers go and try the game and play the game and things like that. And they have a super long kind of period there in which that they can't talk about it. So we know they've already started working with influencers on kind of advertisement and marketing and things like that. So they seem like they're really confident in their game. And of course, that comes out in May. We've got Minecraft Legends coming out. Of course, I'm not super hyped for it, but I'm definitely going to try it out. Ghostwire Tokyo, I haven't played on PlayStation, so for me, I definitely will be checking that out when it drops in Game Pass. Of course, I'm super hyped. We're super happy playing kind of Age of Empires that came out on console now, which is a good start. And then, of course, that's not including the likes of Diablo, which we have the open beta this weekend for those who pre-ordered, and next weekend for everybody else. And then after that, of course, it releases that releases in June. We've got Street Fighter, we've got Resident Evil 4. There's a multitude of games that are dropping by that June period that I probably won't have time to play all at the same time, or even get through all of them. So I'm kind of happy that it's outside of this 12-month window, but I'm also not happy that Microsoft have again advertised these are games that are coming out in 12 months, and then 2 out of the 3 advertised haven't hit. Again, me and Box, you've mentioned this on multiple occasions. Consistency is key for Xbox now.
Yeah.
The remainder of this year, following these 2 delays of both Forza and Starfield, that needs to be the end. Needs to be the last time we hear of these issues. And I don't mean from delays, because you're going to get delays from time to time, but there comes a point when there's just too much that misses that you've already promised. You don't make promises you cannot keep. From a development standpoint, and that's what they did last year. They said all of these games are coming within 12 months, and out of all of the games that they advertised within that 12-month bracket, both first and third party and second party, about 15 haven't hit within 12 months. There's a substantial amount of games that they advertise coming within 12 months that aren't coming within 12 months. These are both partners, these are second party and first party. So they have to get the consistency down, and they have to be that going forward needs to be the main key point for the rest of the generation. tail end of this year, starting from Minecraft Legends onwards, they need consistency in both messaging and releases. And I think that ultimately is the point that we have to keep stressing to them. You need to be consistent and remain consistent. They did it in 2021. They had a really good year. Next year, 2022, was an absolute clusterfuck. Then
I have to apologise on behalf of my dog. She's snoring like a trooper.
But yeah, so consistency's key. That's exactly what they need to do going forward. But on that note, I'm really happy that it's coming out in September because it's going to free up a load of time for me to think, yep, now I've definitely got the time to play it. There's nothing around there as it stands that's going to get in my way of playing Starfield.
That's the fact. And we have like a good 2 months of playing Diablo.
Yes.
All is well.
Yeah. Yeah, and even then, even if Forza drops, and this is the good thing about Forza, even if Forza drops, it's not something that's going to distract me from Starfield because I can jump into Forza for an hour, do a couple of races, turn it off, get back into that. It's a palate cleanser game now. So, it's perfect. So, and I still...
When do you think it comes out?
You know what it is? I think
November.
Forza might be a July game. July, maybe beginning of August.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm feeling November.
October.
Nah, I don't think it's going to be that late.
I'm with Mike.
October's usually when the Forza games come out. I can't see them changing.
It's usually
Most
like
of them came out in September.
August, September. Yeah. I still think it's going to be kind of July, August. It will miss the 12-month window, but I think it's going to be like July, August. I don't. They're another studio like Starfield. They're another studio that has been in polishing since the beginning of this year. That's a significant amount of time to polish the game up. Whether or not they're finishing off tracks or something like that and making sure all the tracks are working fine, etc. We've seen enough of the game to suggest it's definitely running and it's running well. So I'm not kind of disheartened by its technical prowess. I think it's maybe, again, they just want to make sure it's as polished as it can be when it does release. And maybe, as Jen was saying in terms of DLC, etc., maybe they are working on kind of additional content and the content plan for that as well to make sure that's ready for release. Much like Forza Horizon, when they give you a content plan, in previous years you kind of had an idea as to what the content roadmap would be like. And even Forza Horizon's a little bit behind. Yes, we're getting awesome DLC for Forza Horizon at the end of this month, of course, with the Rally Adventure. But that's significantly behind their timescales. They usually release one DLC for Forza Horizon every 6 months. And of course, Forza Horizon 5 has been out quite a considerable amount of time now, and we've only coming up to the second DLC now, and I think it's maybe almost 2 years old. So, so there we go. But yes, still on another delay, but this one's a bit stranger, in my opinion. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Me and Boxy saw this just after his show, The World of Gaming. We both were pretty happy with what we saw. We thought it looked really cool, pretty interesting. The characters all like that, different animations, etc. The different combat. They all had their unique abilities. It looked like a fun game. They confirmed the Battle Pass was primarily cosmetic, if not all cosmetic. So there wasn't any issues on that front from my perspective. Yet, when we went on to the timeline and into the chat and into the comments, it had nothing but hate. And people really didn't like it. And I just don't get it. Sean? What happened with this? This game has also been delayed, by the way, due to fan feedback. To the
Is that
latter
official
part
now
of the year.
then? Have they come out and said it's been delayed?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
delayed. Well,
Okay.
no. Has it been official? I know.
Yeah.
I just heard that some
No, it has not been
leakers have
official.
said, well, we don't know if it's been delayed then until it's official. I'm going to go ahead and say that thing's probably still on track to come out in May.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was delayed, you know. I'm pretty sure they announced it.
all no, I don't think so. People in
I'm
chat
pretty
let us
sure-
know.
It might have been Jeff Grubb that said that it's been pushed back further than expected, but it's still not
Almost
official.
every insider said it. Like Jess Gordon said, everyone said it. Tom Henderson came out. A lot of the insiders came out. But I can't recall
Probably been
seeing an
pushed back,
official
but,
statement.
Until it's official, then it's just hearsay to me.
But yeah, the hate, at least on this front. Boxy, first. It baffled us, but go ahead. What's your thoughts?
It did. Yeah. See, I have many thoughts. Again, I always take up too much time here on this panel, I know, but I do my best to keep it short this time. The thing is, I don't know what people expected. Did they expect like an Arkham game and they just slapped the skins of like a Harley Quinn on there? I don't think so. And from what I have seen, the game looks vastly different than an Arkham game. It's a different game. It's a different game. It does not try to be the next Arkham. It tries to be its own thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate them doing that. Trying out something else, although I would really love a new Arkham game. But hey, that's what they decided to do. So who am I to judge? Because Rocksteady has never disappointed me. I have not played a bad Rocksteady game. So why would I doubt them? Why would I doubt them? From what I've seen, combat looks diverse and fun, fast-paced. Traversal reminds me of Sunset Overdrive, which is fantastic. One of the best traversals in a game to date. From what I've seen, the writing is also fast-paced. It tries to bring in humor, doesn't take itself too serious. Like that. Do I like the live service aspect? No, I don't. I don't need this game to be a live service game. But does it hurt my experience if I can play the game single player from start to finish and enjoy a campaign that takes me, I don't know, 25 to 30 hours? Whatever. Yeah? Is that bad? Just because afterwards I could go on a grind for some cosmetics? I don't know. It doesn't take away from my experience, but people seem to be upset with that. And I think that's where the most hate comes from. People are just tired of these live service games.
Yeah. I think it's...
Because there are a few. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think the issue comes is I think live service is kind of a taboo to some people. When the live service only revolves around cosmetics, I think they just need to just ignore the fact that it's classed as live service. If there's going to be DLC going forward, like expansions, etc., I wouldn't class that as a live service game. That's just a game that's being has additional story content being added to it down the line. If it's what they would class as live service, which is primarily because it's a co-op online game that requires, well, it is a service game. It's a multiplayer game. Any multiplayer game is classed as a live service game because you have to continually produce content for it.
Support it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
there are no multiplayer games like in the good old days, like Halo 3 came out. It was online. It was your map pack, and 3 months later you got another map pack, and then bam, that's it.
Yeah, these days it's entirely different. You cannot release a multiplayer game and then just not do anything with it. If you have a
people
multiplayer
would also
game,
be mad about that. That's the point. That's a fantastic point. People would also be mad about that.
Exactly.
If they bring out a multiplayer game that they don't support after launch, people would be mad.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough as a developer if you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing from this is how many live service games recently have been dropped like a bag of dog turds and abandoned.
I think the main issue is
why people are so sick of these live service games.
I think there's a distinction to be made. There's a live service game, and then there's a games as a service, which is entirely different. This, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, isn't a games as a service game. It's a live service game. So it's a game that will gradually be, of course, you're going to get additional skins, cosmetics. You might further down the line get DLC for it, but it's not a games as a service game. They're not out there to ensure that this thing is continuously added to forever. A games as a service game is such as Destiny 2.
Didn't they pretty
it's
much
Sea of
say that they
Thieves.
want to support this game for years on end with bringing content to it, story content included? So I think this is more of a games as a service experience. And I get why a lot of people are pissed off with that, because I know it's a different game entirely, but it's still under the superhero genre, and it was poorly received. Avengers, prime example. People bought skins in that game, and now the game's going to die. A lot of people are becoming more and more hesitant to spend money in these games as a service games because they don't last so long. Very few games as a service games survive in this day and age because most people will buy into one and they'll stick with it. Like Fortnite, most people will stick to Fortnite. They've got their skins because it's popular. They constantly bring fresh new content to it. They're constantly evolving the map, and they're constantly changing up the way the game's played. Not many games do that successfully.
Yeah.
And that's the problem here. A lot of people are worried to buy into a game like that because they're going to think, what happens if this game closes down a year after the fact and I've put so much money into buying battle passes and skins, and I can no longer access that because the servers are no longer available.
The one thing I would say to anybody who thinks about buying a battle pass is focus on buying the core game first. If you enjoy the core game and you want to buy a battle pass, then go for it. But never... I would never fully invest myself in a multiplayer game, no matter who it's by, on a games as a service, outside of Forza Horizon, where I know I'm getting 2 DLCs in that pass, the season pass. I know I'm getting 2 DLCs and the cars, and that's the end of it. That is the only game that I've got an outlier with, because I know, because of historically, every time it's been exactly the same. You get the game, you get the car pass, you get the DLCs, the 2 specifically, and that's the end. With other games as a service games, you can never truly know what content you're getting and when. So I would always say focus, and this is for anybody who plays them, focus on the core experience first. If when you finish the core experience you want more, then invest in the battle pass. If you don't, no harm, no sweat. You've played your game, you have fun, end of. But I understand the frustration.
Because if they don't see people buying the battle pass and they don't see numbers buying the battle pass, then they tend to head towards that direction where they push further away from supporting that game, and then they slowly kill it off, like they did with Marvel's Avengers. I know it's not a great thing to bring as an example because it wasn't the greatest live service games as a service experience, but there are others out there that were better than Marvel's Avengers and still died.
And I think that's the thing. Rocksteady historically made full-fledged single-player games, and I think people just wanted that. Yeah, I can't see that they really had an issue with like the actual combat. People make that excuse because it's hard to argue to spend like dozens of money, buckets of money in a Fortnite or Warzone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then complain about live service games. But that's the reality, I think.
And the funny thing is about Boxy as well.
Single player experience.
The funny thing is about Boxy as well is I would say Warzone is probably one of the worst for it. It's a games as a service game where you rarely get any actual substantial updates. It's the same now with Apex. Like Apex at the beginning was full of updates and quite frequent ones, and now it's very slow. Like it's very rarely got any decent big upgrades. The only one, in fact, there's only 2 games that I'm aware of that are, should we say, mainline consumer games outside of your World of Warcrafts and things like that, who have big deals, the MMOs, as opposed to just a regular traditional games as a service game, is Sea of Thieves and Fortnite. They're the only ones with, should we say, a substantial cadence of drops of new content, new adventures, new skins, new things to do. It's a constantly evolving world. That is something that has happened over time, and those are the only two games that have actually produced this substantially. Outside of that, Halo's not done a good job at all of being a games as a service game. So naturally, anybody who's played Halo on Xbox is going to have major reservations for Kill the Justice League as a games as a service game. Anyone on PlayStation, of course, even those who have played Destiny, there's still a hardcore group that's played Destiny, but you're going to have been burnt by the fact that they've literally removed content, like major story content from that game forever, just to get some space on the drive. Essentially, they said, "Okay, we need to save space on this game," and so we've removed all of this stuff, and it's been permanently put into the vault. So it's such a weird thing. So I understand the negativity around games as a service games, but from what I was led to believe, this game's, at least the Battle Pass section of it, was cosmetic. And there was nothing else about that.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. They confirmed that.
There's not going to be any pay-to-win content, but I believe they did say that they're going to support this with story content for years to come.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's fun. I don't see why people would have an issue with that.
Do
Do you want me to make a confession?
Yeah.
I have never ever spent a single cent on a cosmetic in a video game.
Really?
Not once.
Bloody hell.
I don't see why I would spend my money on a cosmetic. Honestly, I buy DLC, I buy the car packs, I buy stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a cosmetic, like a skin or something. Why would I spend money in Halo on a skin? I can't even see my character.
Yeah, that's where Fortnite wins over everybody though, because you can see your characters, and they bring out like from every game and film you can imagine.
Yeah, and then I'm a little bit too pragmatic there. I don't know. It doesn't really change. Do I really need to look like the cool guy? It doesn't really change the gaming experience or the game experience itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not the guy for cosmetics, man.
No, that's fair.
I'm just not.
If you're to look like Jack Sparrow in Sea of Thieves, then damn right you pay that money.
Yep. You know it.
I would not.
I know I did.
Well, that's a you thing, not a me thing. I'm sorry.
I just want to come back around to the gameplay of Suicide Squad, and I fully understand why people are pissed off about a specific part of the gameplay, because these are all different characters, all using the same type of guns,
Flying about.
all pretty much flying about in a similar style. And I get that, but I still love the look of the game. I'm still interested in playing the game. The biggest point is, when have we ever seen characters like King Shark run around with a massive assault rifle shooting up people? These are characters that don't typically use guns in the comics.
The problem is, I would say
comics
though,
or movies.
I would say to that, they have to, on that front, they have to take liberties. They have to, because there's going to be a point throughout that game where all of your friends are running around with guns and hammers and swords and things, and you're just Shark, and he has nothing but his mouth and his brute strength. Like, no one's gonna use
Maybe
Shark.
a Shark wasn't a good idea for a character, to be honest.
Yeah.
Could have gone with anyone else.
Yeah, it's such a strange thing. But even then, like I say, they have to take liberties in those fronts. I can understand people are like, yeah, but it's not like true to form. Like, Shark's never gonna carry a gun. I'm like, yeah, no, but like,
even Harley Quinn
you're gonna
don't
get
typically
super
use
bored.
guns. She mainly uses a baseball bat or a hammer.
Yeah, but then even if you have a look at Birds of Prey, she's definitely using
She
multiple
uses
weapons.
pistols, but she doesn't often use like guns. She typically uses, in the comics and movies, she's typically used melee style weapons.
Yeah.
That's what Harley Quinn typically uses.
Yeah. But again, you need to have some liberties. And again, no one's going to force you to use any guns. If you want to just use his brute strength and melee people to death with Shark, no doubt you can do. Each of them have special abilities.
I do kind of think a lot of the guns in that game look like Nerf guns as well.
Yeah, just a little bit, but still look really fun.
I hope I'm not shooting like purple blobs off the Flash or
Canker sauce.
just all the time. hit
Purple
this sweet spot.
Kinkosaurs, alien Kinkosaurs.
But Sean, what's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on Suicide Squad? What you saw of the game and what you think of the kickback from what we saw of the game?
I honestly wasn't hyped for it in the first place. It just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I know kind of you look at the pedigree with the Batman games, and that should automatically scream, this is something you should like. But I just didn't see how or what they were really going to effectively do with it, to be honest. And then when I did see it, I was like, yeah, this is just not for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always reluctant to jump on going, this is trash, this is garbage. I just go down the line of it's not for me.
Yeah.
If it was to come to a subscription service and I try it and I enjoy it, then fair dues. But it's not something I'm willing to risk my money on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've done it multiple times. I think Boxy and me have both done it. I think with Boxy, I think, ended up buying Guardians of the Galaxy much later.
Yes.
And I tried it when it went on to Gamepass, and again, it was a game where I look back and think, you know what it is? I would have actually, if I knew it was going to be this good, I would have bought the game on launch.
Day one.
I think part of
the
that not selling well was because of Avengers.
Yeah,
and
I was
Square
gonna say
Enix.
The Avengers screwed that over because you looked at it, it's a very similar art style. And then, because like Avengers, I've got two mates on PlayStation that were like buzzing over the Avengers, and then when they got it and they stopped playing it after a week, I was like, "You're not playing it?" He's like, "Nah, it's not very good." And I played it in Game Pass, and the first bit's enjoyable. I quite like the story is it Kamala Khan?
The first half of the story is good until it starts pushing those live service and store sort of things, and
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say.
and it becomes tedious and grindy.
Also trying to find the DLC and on that map is awful.
And that's my fear for Suicide Squad, is that there'll be 14 different ways of earning coins, whether some be in-game, some be paid. And I think that's what people are worried about, is this, when you have this live service kind of token attached to it, you look to the extreme negative. I mean, if all it is a season pass, then I think people will get over it and they'll be all right with it. And that really does sound like somebody's farting rather than your dog snoring.
It's definitely not.
He's just going to
fine.
blame the dog.
It is the dog.
Especially with Mick having a big grin on his face with that purr.
Every time it happened before, I thought, is it? Or
No, I'm not farting. You know if I was farting.
He's like, it's
I'd own
definitely
up
the
to it.
dog.
It's not me, it's the dog.
the leather seat ripple. But yeah, I think that's my concern with the game. For me, I wasn't really looking to pick it up. Again, it might have been a sale, or it might have been either PS Plus or Game Pass. So that's my point with the game. With the controversy, I just think people are more disappointed. I think when you have the pedigree of Rocksteady and they see what they did with the Batman games, there's a certain kind of expectation, and I do think that does fall on us as the players, that just because our expectations haven't been met doesn't mean to say it's going to be a bad game. But going back to what was previously said, is that what's the point in the characters if they all can do the same thing and they all can fly about? They can, what makes these good games is having the uniqueness of this character can do this, and if you're playing co-op, then King Shark could then do something with Boomerang, or there's gives and takes with having these characters. It makes you select these characters for a reason, rather than they all do the same thing. There's no real fun in that. And I kind of guess that you'll get someone who's Boomerang, and somebody else goes, yeah, but I want that character because I like to do that thing. It's like, well, tough. Play it next time.
It doesn't really seem like there's much diverse options apart from their abilities. It doesn't really look like the gameplay with each character is really different.
Yeah, and it's like you might as well have do the Halo thing and have the same character 4 times.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And but that's one of my biggest gripes with Halo is in these days, in this day and age, I would have really liked them to figure out somehow to incorporate my multiplayer character into the co-op. So player 1 was Master Chief, and then the additional people, your multiplayer character. And I'm sure we've spoken about this at the time.
Yeah.
Didn't Halo 3 do that?
Halo Reach did that.
Was it
did
Halo
Halo
Reach?
Everyone was
Yeah.
their own Spartan in Halo Reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. Then I completely forgot about that. No. Reach, you were individual Spartans.
Yeah,
You were
but-
part of a
Yeah, you
of a
were
core
part of the
group, but you
team,
weren't
weren't
you weren't your multiplayer character. You were already
Oh, in Reach, you were your multiplayer character. You
Were you?
change the look of your character. Your character would change its look in every cutscene. So every Spartan would look different.
okay. For some reason, I was under the impression that because you had the 4 characters from the
In Halo 3, it was 4 different set characters. You'd have 1 Master Chief, 1 Arbiter, and then 2 other random elites.
yeah. Which is one way of getting around it.
Which
But
is still better than the same character.
having Master Chief 3-4 times, yeah. I would really like them just to figure out how to get a storyline where you come across some Spartans, especially when you actually come across Spartans in the game. Yeah, they're all dead. But if you come across Spartans in the game, there's a way of incorporating. You get to the open world, and then you can get your mates in, whatever. Anyway, we've gone off from the topic, but yeah, that's what I would have liked. So yeah, it just seems that in Suicide Squad, you might as well just have 4 Harlequins or 4 Boomerangs or 4 Deadshot. Is it Deadshot? Yeah. There's not just doesn't seem to be enough to distinguish between one another that we can see. Maybe when the game comes out, they have their all unique abilities. They can all do thingy, but it's their job to show us this thing. It's not our I can't remember what the saying is, but whatever speculation, if you don't provide enough information, we're just going to speculate the hell of it, and that's what the truth is going to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that's yeah. I think that's what the controversy and those get rid of those flipping purple blops. I mean, what is this? A OG Xbox PS2 type game where it's like shoot the blocks or shoot the cyst on the side of his face.
Yep. Shoot all the
where's
glowy
weak-
yellow areas on the lambent in Gears of
where's
War.
the weak? Yeah. Where's the weak spot? Oh, the big glowy pulsing thing. Right.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like playing Lost Planet. Oh, you shoot the
Yeah.
glowy orange things?
But that
Yep.
kind of made sense in Lost Planet because that was like their heat, wasn't it?
Hmm.
That's what they needed to survive. And I've just got a feeling in this, it's like you're not. I know the things like how do you stop us? You need to kill us. It's like no, you probably got some purple thing on your back that I need to shoot.
You can't kill me. Yes, I can. I'm going to shoot that big purple cyst that's glowing on you.
Yeah, I have no weakness.
I'm going to shoot those purple herpes right on your lip.
Oh, dear me. That's a good point. That's a good point. Mick, what's your thoughts on it?
Just remind me what it was we were talking about again. Sorry, I zoned out for a
Suicide
minute
Squad,
there.
the
Suicide Squad. That was
what
it. Yeah.
the game that you saw, of course, in the recent trailer, and the kickback it got from the community.
And that's why I zoned out because I have zero interest in Suicide Squad.
He was just secretly hoping that he didn't get collared for the fart. He was like, it was the dog. It was the dog.
The films have never interested me. DC in general doesn't do much for me, but I would say the Arkham games made me like Batman.
Yeah.
So I was always into them. I should be more excited for it because it's the same, it's Rocksteady. But as soon as they announced it was Suicide Squad, my interest just nosedived. And then everything we've seen since really hasn't done anything for me.
That's fair.
So it just kind of fallen off the radar completely for me.
That's fair.
It's just not my, and I don't mind. I mean, I play Sea of Thieves. It's not a live service game. So the live service thing it doesn't look great, but it doesn't concern me in the same way. I don't think.
Yeah.
I'd rather just see what it was like and assess it when I see it. But the
I
bigger
think
thing
most
for
of the
me,
problems when it comes to games as a service, live service thing is not every company can pull it off well.
exactly, yeah. So the bigger thing for me is Suicide Squad. It just doesn't do anything for me. They'd have been better off.
I mean, the first
doing what
Suicide
about-
Squad film was terrible. The second one was brilliant. The second one was just fun.
The second one basically retcons the first one. The first one is garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still not. Still doesn't interest me.
Did you like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Mick?
They were all right. They're not really. I preferred the more mainline sort of,
Marvel. Yeah.
I mean, give me a Wolverine film any day.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
an X-Men.
Definitely. Well, to be
If
fair,
you
I preferred even
Thought
then.
that about Guardians, you'll probably feel the same about the.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
even
Suicide
then,
Squad
I
movie.
don't like the Wolverine films. The only Wolverine film I enjoyed was Logan.
Mhm.
Only
Yeah,
'cause it
Logan was
unleashed.
great.
Logan was
Yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah, it was such a good.
X-Men Origins Wolverine was garbage, and then you had the
Yeah, that was
second
great.
Wolverine film, which was okay. Nothing
But
special.
the X-Men
But Logan
films.
was brilliant.
Yeah, the X-Men films and Logan were awesome. But Suicide Squad's just
Yeah, it's
nothing
not for
me at
you.
all. I have
Yeah.
no interest at all in it. I never have. So yeah, it kind of fell off for me. So that's why I kind of zoned out from it. There. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Oh. Like when we get a horror segment on here, you're like, oh god.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm just like,
Last but not
See, the thing
least,
about
Jen.
this Suicide Squad
Yeah.
game, though, is I feel like I'm going to go the same way I did with Gotham Knights and end up waiting for this to go in sales and pick it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on it day one. Yeah, I was never ultimately enthusiastic about getting it anyway or getting into it. But it was definitely one I would get later on down the line. But yeah, there's no rush for this. It's definitely going to be on sale. Maybe to be fair, judging by what's happening with it, it's probably going to be on sale for like 10 quid in game within 2 months. So
Gotham Knights didn't do so well, and there are some things in Gotham Knights that make it feel like that there was probably supposed to be some games as a service stuff tied into that, but maybe they took it out when they delayed it because they were worried. So maybe this is going to be a similar thing, and they're going to shovel it out of the game, and then it's going to not feel right because something's going to feel missing from the game. But who knows?
yeah,
We'll
Okay,
see.
here's a question then. Here's a question. Right, so let's assume that it is being delayed till 2024 for whatever reason. Do you think it's beyond the realm of possibility that they then approach either Sony or Microsoft to put it in their subscription service if
Oh,
they fear it's going to bomb?
I think
Considering
this
it's
game-
already
this
got
game needs
advertising rights with Sony, it would likely go into PlayStation.
I
streaming
wasn't sure
service
who-
first.
I was going to
Oh
say,
yeah, of course, it
Sean.
was in the PlayStation event, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
Sony.
Sean, I think these days, especially when it comes to any live service or games as a service game, I think they are better placed into a subscription service than they are just going on sale. I think it's pretty much a requirement at this point to get your numbers where you want them to be. And that means people aren't risking financial things. That's one of the key things people worry about with a live service or a games as a service game is financial risk. How long is this game going to last? How long am I going to be able to play it for? And what's the content going to be like? If they have that severely reduced by being in a live service, the chances are the game possibly would be much more successful in a service than it would be out of it.
Or free to play.
Yeah.
Because that's it. Because I mean, they're getting a bulk sum from whoever's giving them to be in the live service, so that makes up for a lot of the lost revenue in terms of sales.
Yeah.
But the fact it is a live service, they have other revenue streams coming in. So they will have their battle pass. They'll have probably. It wouldn't surprise me if they had pre-made skins you can buy,
Yeah.
a la Assassin's Creed type
Yeah.
thing. So that there is so I see that those kind of things is a win-win. You've got Exomecha.
Yeah. Exo Primal.
Exo Primal, yeah, I'm getting the mecha thing and the Prime. Yeah, that's coming in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I think that for Capcom, it's like we're not sure about this game. Who wants it? Now they may have gone to Sony first because they've probably got a better relationship, and Sony have gone, yeah, no thanks, and then they've gone to Xbox and they've gone, yeah, go on then. Whoever's got it doesn't make a difference, but it creates a fan base or it creates a player base at least. Give it a try. Oh, it's really good. I like this. I like playing with my mates. Blah blah blah. Or
Yeah.
it's not for me, but they've still got the money for the fact that somebody's downloaded it.
The one thing I like that Xbox are doing with their games that have battle passes now is, and I think it's really good. They've done this. This is the second time they've done it now. The first one was with Forza, where you can literally just buy the deluxe edition as a separate section that isn't full price to the game. So of course you could get the deluxe edition version of Forza Horizon 5 if you had Game Pass subscription for like 35, and that gives you all of the additional.
I remember paying 35 for that. Yeah,
and they're also doing the same for Redfall, where you can get the upgrade to the deluxe edition as a separate cost. So you can actually upgrade and only have the game on Game Pass. So I think
but it's never going to leave Game Pass, though, is it? Same
exactly.
Forza might, because there's music licensing.
The music license, yeah, will at some point.
Yeah, but with Forza games, they have a habit of giving it away if you've bought the DLC.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And they'll probably just flog it for dirt cheap, a month
yeah.
or two before it goes out. Have it for $5.
Yeah.
But by then, people have moved on anyway to the next 3 Forzas.
Yeah.
Like
I think
I haven't ever gone back to 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think I went back to 4, but again, with Forza Horizon, once you're invested in the next one, you really have very little reason to go back and jump on the previous. But I think it's a really great. I think it's a really great way of doing it for games like that. Whether it be Exo Primal, whether it be Suicide Squad, I think offering a cheaper way in, going into a service, a games as a service, a subscription service, and offering a deluxe version for only 30 or only 20 or something like that, that gives you the expansion pass.
Yeah.
That to be honest, that'll be the bigger moneymaker for them, because they'll have their upfront payment from whoever they go into for a subscription service, and then they'll get all of these residuals from all of this stuff that they're doing. I think it's, to be honest,
people tend to be a little bit more kind of lenient with their wallet when they feel that they haven't paid for something.
Exactly.
So they'll go, you know what, I didn't pay for this, so I'll chuck them a $5 or I'll chuck them a $10.
Yeah.
When in reality, they've probably been compensated by whichever company, Sony or Xbox, plus you're chucking them a $10.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
that's why Fortnite does so well.
There's no probably about it. They've definitely been compensated. Otherwise,
but it probably is more of a. Well, I know I'm the case. Is kind of like, if I didn't, I've not paid for it, I'll go, you know what, I'll buy this. So if I was paying 60, 70 quid for this game, I'm like, hell no, I want all those skins for free if I'm paying that much.
Yeah.
But if it's a free to play or it's in a subscription service, I'm more kind of going to go, yeah, all right then. And I know there's the whole where you're paying for the subscription. The way I see it is that it's at no additional cost. I've paid my thingy each month and the game is at no additional cost.
Yeah.
So I would chuck them a $10 if I like the game or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. People are a little bit more lenient when it comes to that, because they're saying, oh, well, I don't have to get it because it's in Game Pass. But like with Forza, I got access to it like a week early, or 5 days early or something, and people were like, absolutely going to get the deluxe version for 35 because I can play the game 5 days early, so let's do it. And then they had like 2 million people playing like a week early because they wanted to play the game. So automatically they made mountains of money in the first couple of days from people just getting the deluxe add-on.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now they're sitting at a whopping 28 million people that have played the game. So,
oh wow,
insane numbers, insane. But then you get the opposite, the likes of Rockstar, talking on that, who confirmed, I think, Red Dead Redemption has done something like 30 or 50 million sales now on Red Dead 2, and they cancelled the online entirely. They just said, yeah, we're not supporting it anymore. We're going to keep it up, but that's it.
That's only because of how much money GTA brings in.
I think they couldn't
He's-
figure out how to monetize the online properly.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like, what are you going to do? Spend 1 million gold bars on a horse? I mean, come
Yeah.
on. You know what I mean?
On a
It's
different coloured
economy
horse.
then.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different economy. And online, GTA Online, not GTA, Red Dead Online, I really enjoy it. But they also kind of did stuff where it's just such a grind
Yeah.
that you had to go do this, take this there, take it over there, and then you got the tiniest amount of XP to level up your skill or whatever it was you're doing. Like if you, I think it was one of them was like moonshine or whatever,
Yeah.
and you'd have to do like moonshine for about 10, 15 hours.
Yeah.
And you were limited to the amount of time you could do a day as well. So it's not like you could properly binge it. And it's that whole kind of forcing you to come back day and day and day. And I got bored of it. And also they were doing things that if you did a daily challenge, then you kind of got a gold nugget multiplier that eventually you got enough for a gold bar. And I think I was on like 2 or 3 gold bars a day because I kept playing it. And then there's one day I forgot and I was back down to like 25 cents of a nugget. And I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah. And I don't blame you. Again, I've never actually played the online yet, but that's because I didn't know anybody who played it or plays it. So I'd be happy to try it. But yeah, I just haven't had the opportunity to actually get into it and see what it's like and why have you got rid of it, etc. So yeah.
There's not enough story content to
Yeah.
do as mates. It's like whenever you want like a Red Dead Online, for me, Red Dead Online would be almost like the single player, but in like almost co-op. But you've also got the element of other assholes are out trying to, who want to kill you or whatever.
And
that
they'll lasso you up and carry you around on their horse and throw you off a bridge.
I mean,
That
to
kind
be
of briefing
fair-
does get on my nerves in those games.
To be fair, I don't know if I've still got the videos. I've actually think I deleted them on my Xbox because I needed the space. But I've had that somebody try and grief me a couple of times. I'd rope them, carry them to the stream, chuck them in a river and watch them drown. They come over to me again and I do the same thing and throw them off a waterfall. And then I see him spawning again and I headshotted him and then the guy quit. And I was like, see ya. But you do get griefing, but it does kind of make it fun when you're with mates. But then it's just like, hey, should we go make some moonshine? Yeah, okay, yeah, I suppose so. Whereas GTA, if you look at GTA, you've got people who kind of properly, I can't remember what the word is, but they pretend to be police and they have their little meetings and they
Roleplay.
Yes, yeah, roleplay, yeah, of course. But they've got, they all meet at a certain time and they've got all their sectors that they thingy, and it's just like a little bit too nerdy for me, but it's kind of cool at the same time. But you can't do that in Red Dead.
Definitely.
And that's why it's not monetizable for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some
Which is
quick
a shame,
news
honestly.
here as well that we've been chucked into the DMs whilst we've been talking here. Indie game Sea of Stars, which was not originally slated for Xbox, has now been added to the Xbox launch roster for release on the 29th of August. Of course, that's a JRPG, turn-based JRPG, Sea of Stars, coming to Xbox on the 29th of August. So that's every platform covered now. Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. All good. So, good news, chaps, good news. Nice little bit of news there to tail it off. Of course, that's on top of the announcement that we also got today, that we are getting, eventually, Ghostwire Tokyo with its brand new DLC on April 12th, which adds extra missions, some more story content, and, of course, slightly upgraded as well for both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. So, of course, that launches on April 12th into Xbox Gamepass and PlayStation Plus. So, a little bit of good news there. A little bit of good news. And thank you, everybody in chat as well, for sticking with us. We're on one more major topic here before we wrap up today's show. And, of course, that is discussing the contract agreements that Xbox have in terms of the takeover. So, of course, the Activision Blizzard takeover is starting to get to its closing period now. In the next couple of months, this should be done and dusted. Xbox and Microsoft, however, are doing their utmost to convince regulators in every segment, major segment that is, of course, CMA, EU, and FTC, that they are not going to withhold COD from anybody, and in a method of trying to do this, they are agreeing, of course, 10-year agreements with pretty much everybody they can find. So a lot of these, specifically this week, have been cloud-based gaming platforms. And of course, that kind of kills two birds, one stone. So these cloud-based gaming platforms are getting access to all of Xbox Game Studio games and Call of Duty on their platform when the deal closes. One of them is a Ukraine-based company. The other is a smaller company. Again, I think maybe it's in the US or something. Both cloud-based gaming. Both have agreed a 10-year contract with Microsoft when the deal closes to get access to all XGS games and Call of Duty. So, of course, they're doing their utmost to convince regulators that, listen, we're not going to withhold this major franchise, but it also, a knock-on effect, says we're not going to be anti-competitive when it comes to cloud gaming, because we believe cloud gaming is the future, or a future angle of gaming that is going to grow massively. So obviously we want to make sure our
That was
games...
one of the worries, right? From
one of the
either
major
FTC,
worries from them was
CMA,
cloud.
or EU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud competitiveness. So they're kind of saying, listen, we want everybody to have our games and play them wherever they want to play them. That includes any cloud service. The benefit of this is cloud, as it stands right now, as much as they want to say it's a big part of the market, it's such a small section of the market that could actually do with a boost. Microsoft giving their games or putting their games on every other platform is only a benefit to Xbox as well as these platforms. It means that they can sell the game multiple times. Of course, they can sell them on GeForce. They can sell them on these other two cloud services. They get access to that game on both that cloud service and on Xbox. But it also means, of course, that Xbox get the money for it, as well as that platform also getting the subscription money. So it's a win-win on both sides. Xbox wins because more people play the game. The subscription service wins because they get more subscribers, and it boosts them. And of course, regulators win because it means that competition is kept the way it should be and everybody gets access on these things. But it also means that the traditional three still remain as a traditional three because there isn't anybody else disrupting the console market. It's Xbox, it's Nintendo, and it's PlayStation. It will stay like that. People that have tried to disrupt it, unfortunately, haven't had the financial capabilities to really take off. So it will likely always stay that way. So the competition around the three major console providers will remain that way pretty much forever. The difference is whether or not Sony and Nintendo both want to get into cloud gaming properly in the future. And if they do, they have to be competitive with the rest of the the rest of the cloud gaming market. And this is where Xbox are getting ahead of the game by saying, we have our service, everybody has their services, and our games are going on to everybody's cloud service because we don't care about that. Everybody can access us there. We're not selling anything. Like, cloud services don't combat against us because they don't have a physical unit that they can compete against us with. It's just a service. Whereas with Xbox, with Gamepass, if you have Gamepass, you have cloud. So you already have that service. So you can play on cloud with Xbox. Or if you want to use somebody else's cloud, you can do that anyway if you want to pay an additional subscription. So there's no loss for them. It's a win for their subscription service. It keeps the market competitive. Boxy, I'm going to go to you first on this one. You like to get me involved in all of this FTC, CMA regulatory stuff on your podcast, so it's your turn first here. What's your thoughts on these deals?
So blame the German guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with Jen. Of course, I want it to be older. I feel like that the entire gaming news cycle is way too much focused on this entire deal at these days. I mean, if you go to any major news site today, yeah, almost all you will find is they signed that, and this guy said this, and Microsoft does this, but that being said, we also learned a lot. Through this deal, we learned a lot about Microsoft's strategy. We learned a lot about how other companies think. And I feel like this is really the key takeaway here. Sony has basically revealed their own playbook.
Yeah.
They have revealed what would we do if we are in the position of power, of having the choice to withhold content or not, because we've seen how they act. And now they even come up with a lot of other actually kind of crazy sounding ideas that Microsoft could implement intentional bugs that will only appear in the last level to have the worst experience on PlayStation, stuff like that. Yeah. So it is interesting in that sense, yeah, that we really get like this, playbook. And then on the other hand, of course, I gotta say, Microsoft has done so much. Now, honestly, if they are going to block it, it kind of feels like, okay, they don't want like free market, a capitalist market, because Microsoft has eased a lot of concerns in all the right ways, And if they still intend to block the deal in any way, shape, or form, I think it's obvious that this is really not about protecting the video game consumer, but more so, trying to get a certain agenda out there. So Microsoft has partnered with other cloud streaming services. And I mean, of course, you really could argue those don't matter anyway, because honestly, has any one of you guys, honestly,
No, I haven't heard of them.
Heard of them before today? So
there was a good thing that I read, actually. There was a list that came from the FTC, CME, etc., of the cloud streaming services that had original objections to the deal. Now, we know Brad Smith's come out and said, listen, we're currently making contracts with a lot of other companies as it stands this week, and they will get these 10-year deals. Out of those on that list, I think there was about 10. 2 of them kind of no longer really exist. Luna, and of course we know Google Stadia is gone. The rest, there's about
Luna was
5.
Amazon's thing, right?
5
Luna's
remaining
in
on that
America,
list.
isn't it?
Luna's just American at the minute.
Yeah.
That's
I heard
part
about
of their
it once, and
issue.
that's the first time I've heard about it since.
Part of their issue is that it's only in
They've got a
America.
really nice controller. It's purple.
Yeah.
That's about the only good thing they've got going for it.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me.
But yeah, Luna's Luna's main issue, and this is why I think they kind of have a pretty rich when it comes to talking about, oh, this is going to affect us. You have to launch your product worldwide to have an understanding of what damage it's going to do to your product worldwide. If you can constantly restricting your cloud service game or gaming platform to only one sector of the entire planet, which is the US or North America, your service is never going to kick off. Never going to kick off. The biggest sections for cloud streaming are in Europe and in Asia. Not in America.
Yeah.
It's a really bad test bed. So don't just launch it there and expect it to kick off. And again, we saw this with Stadia. They had no game plan for Stadia. Nothing. They had a really good platform that offered 4K 60 streaming, but nothing for it. Nothing.
Hence why it's dead.
And that's why it died. It wasn't because of Microsoft. It wasn't because of Nintendo. It wasn't because of PlayStation. It was because the service didn't offer enough content.
Google didn't back it like they should have.
Yep.
Their own fault.
Paying for a subscription and then buying the games as well.
That was that's always an
stupid
issue.
model.
That's always
It's
an
like
issue.
going to adopt an old dog and then it dies a week later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on that front, anyway, out of the 10 that was listed, 5 of those have now got. So 5 of the 10 or 12 that were listed have got 10-year contracts now with Microsoft for all of the games plus Call of Duty. So they're halfway through them, and we know they're offering more out of that. So I think the strategy is pretty clear here. They're definitely getting rid of the cloud argument.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sham, what's your thoughts on this whole? Because I haven't heard you. Actually, I haven't had a chance to speak to you about all of this takeover malark at all, because of course it's been a while since you've been here. So what's your overall thoughts on, should we say, the takeover and these recent contracts to kind of push this thing close to completion?
With the whole kind of look at what they're doing, this is wrong. There's just one quote I have for that, and it's from Hamlet, and it's, "The lady doth protest too much, methinks."
Yeah, that's a good one. Good old Shakespeare comment there.
Yeah, I think it's just said, but it's like crap. So that's what we do. So they might do that to us, and we can't really have that. So you got to stop this.
And that's ultimately what's been obvious at this point now. It's like, now we know Sony would do this if given the opportunity. They'd just say Call of Duty is now exclusive. We know they would.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's too conspiracy theory to kind of point to things like Callisto Protocol running better, with the thingy devs. I mean, it is possible, but
Yeah.
there's not evidence enough to kind of show that's what they've done. And now
Yeah.
whether that kind of comes up in court and Microsoft can prove that's what they've done is a completely different ballgame.
Yeah. And on another front as well, I think on the Bungie side, if Bungie hadn't have reiterated that they wanted to remain a multi-plat developer, Sony would definitely have got them and said, now first party. Like,
You're making games for us,
completely
pretty much.
exclusive. Yeah.
It's probably only because the fact that Bungie said before the deal was even a thing, if you're going to buy us, we're staying independent, and we want that in the contract, so that when you do purchase us, if you do try and make us go one platform only, we can get out.
Yeah. And that's the reason they left Microsoft all those years ago, because they wanted to be independent. So essentially the deal to go with Sony is to remain that way, but assist them with in-house stuff.
Yeah. See, Bungie had that problem with Microsoft, and they also had it with Activision, and then Activision let them go. So yeah, Bungie are smart and not playing silly this time. They've probably got a get out clause if Sony tries to do anything like this. So they'll probably just walk away from Sony if Sony try to demand that they make games for PlayStation only.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, Sham.
Yeah.
Continue anyway.
What was the question again now? We've just completely...
Yeah, thoughts on the kind of the way the strategy Microsoft are going for as well with this going, like, at the moment, to kind of get it close to completion.
I think they're probably doing all the right moves, because they're kind of almost heading off any kind of not restrictions, what are they called?
Complaints. Any complaints?
No, when they're forced to do something. So you got the behavioural remedies and the, structural remedies. So I think that I don't think they'll settle for any structural remedies, because that will involve getting rid of either Call of Duty, the license, or some of the studios.
Yeah.
And what's the point in buying? Like, I've seen people. It might have been Sony that's trying to push for them to get rid of both Activision and Blizzard, and so they're paying $70 billion for King. Really?
Yeah.
They want them to divest Call of Duty, but even if they do, they divest it off. I think it was Michael Paxton that said it. They divest it off as a PLC or something like that.
Yeah, there's ways around if they have to do it.
Yeah. But it's probably not going to happen.
No, it's probably not going to happen. Although I think I was on, unless I've been absolutely tripping this morning or this evening, I'm pretty sure I read on the boss on the way back from, is it Stephen Tortillo? He was saying that the CMA is still not happy with the way that Xbox were with the Bethesda deal, and they've got cause concern because they think that Bethesda deal that all games should have gone to the PlayStation, and that's not the case. And they're worried that that's going to happen with Call of Duty.
Different story when they're making contracts with other people.
And
It is
that's,
a different
yeah, I
story,
think
but
that's,
it's also
yeah, go on.
no, but yeah, it is. It's a different story, and they didn't make any contracts, but also they have not lied because they only ever said that they wouldn't take games off of PlayStation.
Yeah.
People have
So it was
interpreted that as like Starfield and Redfall, but it's like, no, can you get Fallout 76? Yes, you can. Can you get Oblivion? Yes, you can. Can you get Ghostwire Tokyo? Yes, you can. They haven't removed them from the service.
Yeah.
And that's what they were saying. And there will be games. There will be the new Elder Scrolls Online that will go to PlayStation.
Yeah.
There'll be all those types of games. So they haven't lied. And again, it's just our government, the CMA, being absolutely full of jobs worths that don't even have a clue what they're doing, what they're.
Most of them are so ignorant to the gaming industry anyway. They don't know really what goes on in the gaming industry, and they really need to learn because
Yeah, and they've kind of
pretty
Sony's come along and said they said that they wouldn't do this, and then they did because we can't get Starfield. Which, when you look at face value, that's what it looks like. But it's kind of like you're taking out all context of what was said.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I think Microsoft are being smart, heading off any behavioural remedies because it's almost like a game to them, isn't it? With like the CMA and the FTC, it's kind of like they want to kind of go, "Ha, see, we made Microsoft bend the knee. We made them do things that that Microsoft said they were going to do in the first place." So if they kind of go, "Right, we've got these 15 contracts fully signed to say that we're going to do X, Y, and Z," it also kind of takes the power away from the CMA and the FTC and the EU. Although I think the EU are more leaning towards passing anyway.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like, look, we've almost self-regulated, if you will. We've foreseen what you want to happen, and here's the contract. Bang, there you go. Stamp the paperwork.
Yeah. Absolutely.
that's pretty much what it is. It's they want to get one over on big tech.
Yeah.
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 And who can get it done first?
That's pretty much what all the analysts are saying. I think Michael Pachter said it's basically going to be a race out of the FTC, the EU, and the CMA, who lets it go through first.
No, it'll be the EU because the FTC is not until August, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's because of the suit to block thing, right? But I think if the EU and the CMA do let it go through, then the FTC might walk it back and let it through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it going, I could be wrong, I probably am, but the EU will let it through with concessions. That's the word I was thinking of before, concessions. And they'll be completely happy with what Microsoft have done. They'll say, you need to do this, and Microsoft's gone, done, check, there we go. And then the CMA will be like, what? Can we copy your homework? All right, yeah, let's let it through.
Yeah.
And then that will just, the FTC will be like, right, fine.
So another thing we've got to take into account with the FTC is it's political season over there, and they're playing a political game.
The problem, I mean, what we've heard is, especially recently with the FTC, is they have no money left to take anybody to court now. They've literally had to ask the government for an additional $190 million in order to continue.
Oh, it's almost like $600 million.
Oh, that's in total, yeah. That's in total. So they would have had
right,
600 million. They're asking for an additional something like 190 million to continue. And again, considering they've had all of the ones that they've attempted to take to court over the last 2 years have failed.
They've lost to them.
Yeah. I think it's like 8
so
to 10.
What are the FTC playing?
So
they're on a big losing streak at the moment.
they have no argument to request further financial assistance at this point. So I think FTC are going to be, unfortunately, unable to actually follow through with anything that they're attempting to do with Microsoft. They couldn't financially afford to take them to court. They don't have the money to do that.
I think the EU is like towards the end of April, right, where they give their verdict. Is it their verdict towards the end of April?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the 20.
and then
so,
the
yeah.
CMA is shortly after them. But maybe the CMA could pull a fast one and go before.
The CMA is like the day after, I think.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's the day after. I think
Yeah,
it's something like the 29th for one and the 30th for the other. Something like that.
So yeah, coming to a head. Mick, have you got any further points you want to add to it, or?
No, it's it's gonna happen. And I can't wait till it's over, even one way or the other. God, it's hard work, and it's dominated all of the news
For a
all
while.
the gaming news for so long now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Yep.
for it to be all over and we can look back and go, you remember that. Whenever we complain in the future about anything like this, we can look back and go, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah, we could be
Yeah.
talking about this giant
So now,
transaction for,
it's not
for
that bad.
2 years.
It could be like that, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
the sooner it's over, the better. Yeah, it's gonna go through, and like Sean said, they've announced that I think it was, like I said, it's like the 29th for the Euro.
Yeah.
Or it might be the 25th or something like that, and then the day after is the CMAs. So, like Sean said, I think they literally just wanted to copy their own work.
Yeah.
It's literally,
Pretty much.
let's see what
Yeah.
they do first,
It's like
and
we
then
do not
we'll
have
make a
a clue.
decision when they've made one. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the bully in the playground and the ones that follow him. It's like the ones that follow him don't
It's
want
like
to
that,
do anything unless they've had the word from the one.
It's like that scene from Mr. Bean, isn't it, where he's like trying to copy that dude's
Oh,
writing, and he's peeping over.
You've got a super chat there, by the way.
Yes, just come in there from Dave Ramos. Thank you, sir. $2 super chat. Hey, yo, glad you're still on, listening on the commute. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated. And I hope you're enjoying it on your commute. Yes. Jen, anything else to add to this, or you're pretty much all steamed out on it?
I mean, with the cloud services that are getting the 10-year contracts, it's pretty obvious considering NVIDIA, one of the biggest cloud streaming services, with GeForce Now, I think
Yeah.
it's called.
Yeah.
Makes sense. If you're going to give it to them, you might as well go ahead and give it to every other cloud-based service that's available out there.
Yeah, that means
So, yeah.
GeForce Now, believe it or not, and I didn't realize this, but GeForce Now has 25 million users. I did not realize that
crazy,
service had
25
that
million
many
potential
people.
customers.
I think they did say though that I think they've included everybody that's ever tried the trial in that.
So even if you
So
knock
it's not-
off,
it's a little bit shaky that
even
that
if you
number.
knock off 15 million, that's 10 million additional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's potential customers at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when the next Call of Duty rolls around, it's probably going to sell even bigger than last year's Call of Duty because all the cloud services are going to get it, and everyone that hasn't got a beefy computer to handle the COD games is going to go into Steam, they're going to buy it, they're going to connect it to their cloud streaming service, and they're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're upgrading GeForce Now to 4090s very soon. So GeForce Now is going to have the top tier version of PC gaming available to play on.
I've got a
And
few
that-
friends that use it, and it seems to work pretty good most of the time.
Yeah, and of course they've got two. I think they could do with a middle ground version, to be honest. They've got one which is 1080p, and it's like decent experience, and then they've got the top tier bracket, which is 4090, which is like 17 a month or something like that. I think they could really do with having that middle bracket, which is like, okay, this is like a 3070 or a 4060 or whatever it is. Like this middle ground version, that's like 12 quid. So they've got this like weird disparity. They've got like 10 quid a month or 17. Like a big jump in chunks there. I think a middle ground would do them well, to be honest. But that's another topic altogether. I think overall for me, this is kind of a win for Microsoft on the contracts front, but also makes absolute sense because it isn't direct. None of these cloud services are direct competition for the home consoles or the home console market itself. So they're not losing anything by doing this. Again, you could argue subscription services, but the main amount of people that are going to be getting Gamepass are going to be on console, on PC, or on mobile, which will inadvertently get cloud, but there's no guarantees people are going to use the cloud service. It's just an additional service that's within the subscription.
Just an added bonus.
It's a bonus.
And you gotta remember those perks as well, because they only have to start throwing in rare skins, you know, for guns and stuff.
Exactly.
Or your battle pass, or
So when
whatever.
it comes to cloud competitors, I don't think they have any concerns there, because cloud is an additional service for Microsoft. It isn't the forefront of their game. It's just a benefit of being in Game Pass. Whereas all of these other cloud-based, it is their main method of selling their subscription, should it be. So
It's their bread and butter.
yeah, exactly. Offering games on that service doesn't harm Microsoft in any way, shape, or form, so they've got no concerns. And I think
They probably sell them the compute power on Azure as well.
exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
Microsoft, they'll make their money off of people buying the game on Steam anyway, because with GeForce Now, you
Exactly.
physically have to buy the game
It's the same
and
with
then
any of
go
these
to
cloud
GeForce Now
services.
to
Yeah.
add it.
It's the same with any of these cloud services. You have to buy the game, which means it goes to Microsoft, and then they can subscribe and stream it. And again, the bonus there is, of course, across the board, it's not a direct competitor to anything that they're doing. It's no concern. It's not going to disrupt them. So why not? And I think even if Stadia was still around, they'd get a 10-year deal from Microsoft, because again, it doesn't compete
Yeah,
with
of
them
course.
at all.
Of course.
Luna, to be honest, Luna could, if Luna had the market share, and I think they even still might get a deal. It depends. It depends on if they want it or if they have a plan to stay around. They could offer, the problem with Luna and offering Luna a 10-year deal is, are you going to be here in 10 years, or are you just going to shut it down in the next 2 or 1? Like, we don't know what Luna
I
is
guess
like.
they'll probably be having meetings with Amazon
Yeah.
to I guess, figure out where their next steps for Luna is. Because if it's not them expanding to other countries, then Luna is dead in the waters.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's
They
that's
could just have it where they pay more up front. They pay more of a premium up front just to secure
yeah.
the rights to do it. You know, if they're kind of going, we're not sure if you're going to be here in 5-10 years, and they're like, oh, we will. It's just like, well, pay us 70% of the fee up front or whatever.
Yeah. Or just a slightly larger fee on sell-ons. So instead of 30/70, it's 35/25 or 65 or something. Just slightly larger. I think more of an insurance bracket.
But yeah, just one last thing. Could you imagine how much money COD's going to be making after this deal goes through?
God, yeah.
If you thought it was crazy before with how many billions of dollars they make off COD, it's going to be even crazier.
Yeah. And there's one funny thing that I've seen about COD on Switch specifically was people like, well, why would people get it on Switch? Because they've got it on PC, they've got it on Xbox, they've got it on PlayStation. They're the better console, so why would they get it on Switch? I was like, have you never ever double dipped for a game before? You're saying you've never bought a game on multiple devices because you want to play them any way you want to play them. I certainly have. I've got Hellblade on like four devices now just because I like the game. I've got it on Switch, I've got it on PC, I've got it on PlayStation, I've got it on Xbox. Like, like everyone.
Tell me about The Witcher.
Yeah.
Or Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
man.
do it. And if it's like Fortnite, if it's like Call of Duty, you can guarantee people will buy it on that platform just to play it.
Throwback to what we were talking about before. The Batman Arkham games were the king of having multiple versions.
Yeah.
Because you had the regular game and
Yeah.
the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
That was on 360, then on PC. So you had 4 versions of the game there. Then they brought it to the next gen systems, and they did the same thing again. And you could buy them again on both platforms and you must have been able to get about 10,000 points out of that.
Yeah.
Out of that series in the first couple of games. So, and you just doubled it because you can get the achievements again. So
Exactly. And the good, you know what an even better thing is about Microsoft games on Switch? Additional achievements. Woo! Boxy's like, I don't care.
I said at the beginning that
Yeah, I know.
Call of the Sea, I've just completed.
You
Call of
make
the
me
Sea
sound
again.
like I don't care about.
You don't care
a lot
about
of
it,
things
Boxy, you
today,
just
man.
don't
I don't
care.
care about the backlog, or don't believe that it even exists. I don't care about achievements, man. I don't care about ABK.
But yeah, chaps, it's been an absolutely awesome show. Sham, it's great to have you back. It's been far too long, but it's great to see you doing well, and great to have you back on the panel as well. Don't know how often it's going to be, but you're always, of course, welcome to jump in as and when you're able to do so.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can pop in a lot more. I mean, obviously, work schedule
Permitting.
provided. Yeah, pretty much. Because sometimes it's a case of I might have to get up at 4 in the morning. Like tomorrow, I'm up at 5 in the morning to get ready for work. Sometimes I'm up at 4. Sometimes I don't finish till 10 at night. So
Yeah.
it's all just depending on what my work schedule's like, or what the next day's work schedule is like as well.
Yeah, definitely. But it's been an absolute blast having you here, brother, and let people know, of course, where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Xbox or PlayStation 5 under Shomolon, surprisingly.
Awesome stuff. Boxy, obviously we have another awesome show tomorrow with another awesome guest, so let us know where they can find you and where they can watch that.
Yeah, tomorrow on the World of Gaming over on my channel, Boxenberger, everywhere, in case you don't follow me somewhere and want to find me. We have, but I think probably the viewers of our show and your show, they both follow us.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I assume. Anyway, we have Luke Steele on as a guest tomorrow, which is awesome because he's not just a cool guy. He's also mergers and acquisition lawyer, and he deals with the CMA on a regular basis. It's his job. So we're gonna have an awesome chat about that and a lot of other things, of course. We will always talk about a couple of topics that people just missed, and this week they missed a lot. Honestly, I do watch many podcasts or listen to many podcasts, and this week so many topics were missed, and we're gonna cover them all. So it's gonna be awesome.
Definitely. Awesome stuff. Next up, Mick. Let people know what you've got coming up, brother, and where people can find you, of course.
Yeah, I'm Xbox Mick29, pretty much everywhere, except for just on Xbox, which is just Mick29. Yeah, and we've got See Tuesdays every Tuesday with yourself and Jen, as and when we can get on at the moment. We've all been a bit busy recently, and there's lots of stuff going on, so it's been a bit sporadic. But yeah, we will be back on a bit more regular again soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
And obviously here and every Wednesday with yourself and the whole crew, and then Sundays with Sightless, and then I did a little extra one with Sightless, just me and him last Friday as well, which hopefully we'll do again a bit more often as well, which is quite nice. Just me and him going around, sailing around on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
So it's been good. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome stuff. Last but not least, of course, Jen. Let people know where they can find you, brother, and when you're going to be streaming again.
Yeah, I'll be back live hopefully this weekend. Either Friday or Saturday I'll be live one of the days. Not both of them because I've got too much going on. But yeah, a little here somewhere. That's me. My name everywhere at the General C.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I'll be back streaming this weekend.
Awesome stuff. And again, thank you to everybody in chat who came along, who talked with us all the way through, who listened to us on your commutes, doing the housework, whatever it is. Appreciate all the support you give us, of course, week on week. And it's great to be back again. So thank you again to this awesome community, this awesome chat. And we look forward to seeing you again, both on Friday when I do a bit of a gameplay stream, and back again this Sunday for the weekend edition. It was postponed from last week, but we're back again this week for the weekend edition. And it has a brand new look as well, so it's a little bit more in line with the mainline one, but looks fancy schmancy. So looking forward to that. Of course, you can find me everywhere at WandrinDutch, later on this evening on Primetime Gaming with Boomstick and Friends. Tomorrow on the World of Gaming with, of course, Boxenberger, the host of the World of Gaming. And other than that, see everybody again next week. Have an awesome evening and see you all later.
Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends we never met? Even if you pretend, am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me. I send flames, call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. It's on my face, I cannot hide from the mistake my parents made. I'm never moving on. Not made from love, a remnant of a selfish motive. Was I needed? Do I need it to go wrong? Polarized, inherent pain pumping through my veins. I've been flames, call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the safe I embrace inside of me. I only fuel the fire. But is it wrong for me to fight against the balance of my power? History in halves, one brain. I will break the chain. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. I love